For Micah. Happy birthday, young man.
Bilbo, where we go? Do you know? I said, Bilbo, where do I go? Do you know? Where I go, Bilbo. Do you know? No, 'cause it hasn't been there before. I'm going to Mordor. Bilbo, do you know where we should go? Thorin open shield, falling and falling. Someone will tell us where to go. Looks like Smog's on his way. Get the Arden Stone out of this place.
Hello, friends, and welcome to an Unexpected Podcast. I'm Ez,
And I'm Lane.
and we're talking Tolkien.
We're coming to you from the Shire of America, the beautiful state of Ohio, in a little village called Amanda.
I like the voice. I like it.
I didn't
You get
sing it.
Something you get like a, I don't know, like there's something to your voice today.
A little gravel. I literally threw pieces of rocks in my throat. I wanted a gravelly voice, and I thought that's how you got
You just throw
Gotcha.
just pebbles in there.
gravel.
Right. Well, it's a good thing you get a bunch of that fish oil to keep the old.
Wait, are you serious?
Sardines.
I'm Lane.
What are you talking about?
Your sardines? Your sardines?
Wait. Oh, this week we're hopping out of the frying pan and landing in the fire. But thankfully, there's some bacon down there. Now, it's a little burnt. But I'm still thankful, and you should be too. We're recording this on Thanksgiving Eve. Eve, right?
Yeah, Eve.
Eve. And we're happy to be getting
yeah.
into
Jeez.
Chapter 6. Well, you know, I mean.
I really want Thanksgiving
sometimes
to be
I go
tomorrow.
Sometimes I go off.
You go in the future, though, sometimes, too.
Sure.
As I don't care. You know what? I don't care what anyone says, man. I don't care what anyone says. You are one of the most beautiful, kind,
Preach, son.
generous, loving, humble,
Don't stop there.
arrogant, wonderful, gracious creatures that God has ever created. You are the furthest thing from an M word
Wow.
I've ever heard in my life. M word.
Preach, son.
And anyone who would call you that or would call me that has no idea what reality is.
Preach it. Preach it.
I'm thankful for you. I don't know. That's all I'm
Well,
saying.
listen, son.
and
I
think you're rocking that Bengals hoodie
right.
like a homie.
Come on now.
That B looks good on V. Can I say that?
You've got to go. Let me pull this up here so folks can kind of see this here on when you if you go
Who
check out the
day?
video version here, you're going to see that nice logo. Brought to you by Item Description. Really nice. And I got to tell you, I am loving this hoodie. Actually, let's not
Have
look
you
too
spent 4
close.
days in
I was
it?
going to say.
Is that lunch from a week ago?
Right. See, I'm stuttering so because I don't want to admit to what. Lane showed up. He's like, "What's that? What's that crusty stuff all over your?"
Is that sleep
hoodie.
on your sweatshirt?
It's like, whoa, man! I slept in
Came
this
from
for
my
like
eyes.
3 or 4 nights ago, and every night since. But yeah, no, I love this hoodie, and it's great because Lane was like, "Hey, you gotta try one of these," and I'm telling you, I'm gonna probably. Yeah, no, maybe look at getting some more Christmas gifts for some family members.
Hooking your dad up again?
Maybe.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
No, he doesn't even know what
He's
a
not
podcast
listening.
is. I have to go play for him some of the fun, it's just some of the bits.
Dad, aren't you
So,
proud of me? Whatever, kid.
Yeah. He's yeah, he's
No, he's proud of you.
no. Wow, I can really smell those sardines. Like,
I'm telling you, I opened it and I thought someone broke wind.
which, Let me tell you, buddy.
But it gets in your throat, and it changes. It's a different story.
It is literally I normally stutter and ramble and do all sorts of things.
Not you, not me.
Me, I do sometimes.
We never do
most
that.
of the time. But it's not me speaking. It's some sardines.
The cool thing is like the skin. So I am eating sardines. If you're watching, you will be able to see that can of sardines right here.
Yeah.
We just got done recording just got done. We've been having a good time. We're getting reflective.
Yeah, we're getting reflective.
We appreciate each other. We love being in each other's lives.
I appreciate you, brother.
Oh man, I cannot. Every once in a while, we get so busy doing this that it becomes old habit.
Yeah.
And then you have a moment where you're like, I can't believe we get to do this.
I know.
I can't believe we get to do this. This is so fun. And to think back like 2.5 years ago, whatever it was when we started, like to think that we'd be still doing this, a group of people who really appreciate each other, who love talking Lord of the Rings with no airs whatsoever, no gatekeeping,
come on now,
no expertise, no professors,
right?
No clickbait.net,
right?
No, you fill in your own blank. They want to, if they want to come on and listen and talk and stuff, they're more than welcome. But
right.
There's nobody, who's saying, my way or the highway, brother.
Hey,
have you checked out our ideas on Reddit? The community already knows who's playing who. Do you know that?
Come on now.
None of that stuff. All right, none of it.
We don't know. A couple hobbits,
but yeah, a couple hobbits having a good time, and a bunch of people who enjoy either laughing at us or laughing with us.
Well, and
thinking with us, and that's the best part. And that we're into Narnia too.
Yeah,
come on.
Well, no, and actually, it's crazy. Like as I kind of there isn't literally no. There's
really? Hot sauce, man.
Hot sauce. Hold on.
It really tastes. It honestly tastes like mushy hot sauce.
Hold on. Let me give me the spoon. Just give me the spoon. If this falls on my computer,
it's gonna be. Well, it's water. It's not grease, but there is grease from the fish, obviously. Tell me that's not delicious, man. Come on. Jeez, whoa, bro.
Oh my good Lord.
Right? It's good, isn't it? I mean, it's slow because I went to the last whole episode.
Well, I don't have to worry about where that smell's coming from anymore. Oh man, that is right up in my nostrils.
Dang. You know who would love this? We should have saved this for Lake Town. We either should have done this last week with Dave and Gollum.
Right.
Like Dave and Gollum are hanging out. Or we should have waited until we were at Lake Town. In the winter.
I only had a taste of it.
Wait, you can fish in the winter, though.
I only had a taste of it.
You don't like the taste of it?
No, I said I only had a taste of it. So, I mean, we can do it again. That lingers. That lingers. I just want to say, before we move on from it, I am thankful. Boy, you're right. That does something for your voice, doesn't it? Them sardines.
I literally put rocks in my throat.
I don't understand what's that. It's the oil. Something's just.
Well, it's in water, though. You can get it in oil or water.
So I totally just made up
Well, there is fish. There is fish oil.
Okay,
yeah, that
right,
naturally is going to secrete.
That's what I was going through.
Secrete is a bad word.
But no, I am thankful for everyone in our community, and just kind of posted something in the group.
And me too. You're thankful for me.
Well, I was getting there. I was gonna work my way there.
I don't want to pander, but I'd like you to pander.
I am. That's the sardines, by the way. Sorry if I'm just belching on the freaking podcast.
If you pander to pandas, what are you doing?
Not really sure. Honestly, not sure.
That's Winnie.
Not sure.
Winnie's up.
Really?
Damn it. I mean, crap. Can you bleep that out?
Absolutely, I can. Absolutely.
I didn't mean to swear. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
You get either little pulverized bone or skin, and it kind of turns like ash in your mouth. It's good. It's real good.
Pulverized ash?
No.
Is that what you said?
It's like skin or pulverized bone, and it turns like ash in your mouth.
I thought I had actually a bone in my mouth earlier.
Just let that hang there.
Let that hang.
Like the meatball that it is.
This will be fun. Thank God it's early. No, I wanted to say
11 p.m. is early for us.
I wanted
Isn't
to
that
say, yeah,
disgusting?
It's crazy. It's crazy. No, I wanted to say
Price you pay.
I am thankful for our listeners. I'm thankful for people who enjoy the show, who enjoy the Facebook group, who are having a good time and send us, actually take time out of their day to send us like their story, to interact with us. You don't have to do that, and you do, and so
True.
I appreciate that, and it's cool. It's a nice kind of common thing that we have going on. We've been kind of joking about getting ready for the show, and we're at the kids' table just having a good time, just having a blast. And
hey, you know what? You know what's cool about the kids' table? Get to color on your menus.
Darn right you do. You darn right you do. So yeah, that's been great. And I also am really, I was thinking as I was coming down here today, and we hung out. That was actually fun. In Narnia, you had the whole Lane does this thing where he makes memories, makes stuff memorable, like everything.
That's for when I
and
lose my mind eventually. You guys can
you don't even realize you're doing it. And I'll talk about a moment like that. I don't even think you realize you were making memorable, and it literally is one of my favorite memories. I shared it with you before the podcast.
Sorry, man. Sorry, man.
It's one of my favorite. It will be one of my favorite. I can't tell you. Is
it Saruman or is it Sorry Man?
Or is it Sorry Man? I don't know. And I literally, it was just
even Sorry Man, like a sad human being.
So a fortnight.
He's a sorry man.
Right.
Wow. It wasn't even a fortnight ago.
It wasn't even a fortnight
How fun
ago.
was that too? Hanging out with Matt.
That's what I'm saying.
And then hanging out with Dave.
Yeah.
We literally, all we did with Dave, we talked for a few minutes and then we created content the rest of the night.
The rest of the night, exactly.
It was awesome.
Exactly. Dave's 45 Auto. Make sure you go check out his YouTube channel.
Yes.
You can find Lane over there doing a meal.
Ready to eat.
Ready to eat.
What are you, a noob, bro? MRE.
MRE is what
I had the
know it as.
jalapeno burger. It was incredible. Dave, thank you so much. Dave changed my life.
Yeah. It was good.
I may or may not be ordering some MREs and just be storing them away for a rainy day. It was incredible. They really are like food presents.
What if I one day just went down into your cellar and I just see
rows of them? And you're like, I guess Lane's a prepper now.
Yeah,
and
then
like every other like weekend, it's like, hey, this is for dinner, man. We're having MREs.
Well,
These are going bad.
I start to notice Sarah like over the course of like 6 months. Sarah's like, I need to go down to the cellar and go, I got it, honey.
I'm giving it out of there.
You're like hoarding like MREs. She doesn't know where they're coming.
She doesn't know.
From.
I like that.
Oh, it'd be kind of funny. It's like, whoa, what's going on?
That's hilarious. What are you hiding down there? MREs?
No, that was actually a lot of fun. It was kind of fun for Sarah and I to be in the kitchen. It was memorable. Like Dave brought his guitar. We sang songs. We had a really good time. And honestly,
hadn't physically seen him in a year.
Yeah, and I have to say, Dave, I miss you, man. Like I sincerely, Lane and I talked. It was so good to see Dave, and it was so nice to hang out with him. It really was, and because it's just been the weirdest year. And you don't know what people think or how they feel or what's going on. You're trying to be safe, the whole thing. And so it's just really nice to kind of connect with friends. And I don't know, man. You try to make the best out of whatever. I mean, I think I'm drinking a lemon White Claw right now. So,
which is not a great situation, but you're having a good time with it.
I'm having a good time with it.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm making lemonade out of this lemon White Claw.
Wow.
So, anyways, I don't know. I think everyone's trying to do the best they can with what's going on, and I think we all need to be thankful for what we have and for each other. And it seems cliche to kind of say that, but like that's
man, that's what's important.
What
it's all about,
right? Why would that be insignificant?
It was amazing. Like we were just literally, it was the simplest thing. We were all sitting around a table talking, and it was an unforgettable experience. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, it was.
How cool is it that's I don't know. I think something that this time for us, whatever you think about it, whatever you want to say, is it will make us appreciate the simple things. I mean, it's in a large way, it caused me to do this, to go to this.
Yeah.
Which is month in, man.
Right.
No regrets.
Yeah, good. Yes.
No regrets. And it's something that I love. I love that I'm in the moment. I'm having, honestly, there have been moments of frustration that have arisen because I'm dealing with stuff I didn't even know I needed to deal with within myself. I talk about that in Further Up if you want to go listen to that. I mean, not that. If you go listen to the episode because it's amazing. But
absolutely it is.
I'm not going to.
No, but
I'm not going to elaborate on it here.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is I talked about it in Further Up, but like stuff that issues you might not even have known you've had that are underlying, that are frustrating or whatever, that are there that you're so distracted all the time, you don't address. I don't know. I think there's a power out there that wants that to stay that way.
Wow, by a piece of it, I meant just like I don't want any of that.
Well, you're going to bite into it.
Well, no,
I'm not going to determine what piece you eat.
Oh, okay, I was just going to tear off like that top part right there.
You're not going to get any of the cream cheese then.
Wait, there's cream cheese in there? Somewhere?
Yeah, it's a cream cheese muffin.
Where is the cream cheese
in the
at?
middle? Bite right in the. That's what I'm saying. Just bite that little.
This top right here?
Oh my gosh, you're murdering that muffin.
I got it. Right here? Did I get some?
Does it feel like cream cheese?
Yeah.
Does it taste like cream cheese?
There's no cream cheese.
I'd say you probably got some then.
All right. You get the rest of that. Anyways. So
I feel like what's Brad Pitt's character when he's always eating?
oh my gosh, in Ocean's 11 or whatever it is. That's hilarious. I love that you totally fit that. No, but sincerely, and I know Lane and I we go kind of crazy, and it's a late night. We're doing this for fun. This is not our day job. This is our night job. We just do it for fun. And I want to say to folks out there, it is a year. You were saying it earlier. Be thankful, right? Mm-hmm. And I would also say,
be wary.
Well, I've
been reading about Turin, man.
You have been reading about him.
I've been sucked into the children of Hurin.
Uh-huh.
And Turin is a leader of the outlaws.
Yeah.
And they've had to be very wary, very watchful, very perceptive of what's going on around them.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now. So, if you've been following the podcast for any length of time, we are on guard. We are on guard, and we are watching the borders of the Shire, and we always will. We always have, and we always will. Just so you know, we watch those white spaces very closely.
We are not aloof.
We do love you guys. Mm-hmm. We do love you, and I would say, if you're harboring something, hate in your heart, whatever it might be, let it out, my friends. Let it out, because it and you know what, Lane? Because at the end of the day,
you're just a man, and I'm just a man.
Yep.
I'm a boy, and you're a man.
That's right.
You're like a man boy.
We need to love one another. That's how I was raised, right?
I ate that muffin way too fast.
That we need to treat each other with kindness. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I think people just, I think people need to remember that. I think it's a time. It's a crazy time in our world, and in our lives. And I just want to. I'm nobody, but at the same time,
not to me.
I'm somebody. You're somebody. Our listeners are people who matter.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone. And just love one another. Be thankful for each other. And if you can, as much as you can, try to have as much positivity in your life. Surround yourself with positive people and project positivity. And I think it'll help you. I think it'll help a lot.
Advice.
Sorry, that's just
from the Bible. Be wise as serpents, yet innocent as doves.
Preach, son. Preach it.
We've definitely learned that.
We have.
I love the crap out of you.
I love the crap out of you.
Fan.
I love that. All right. Enough of that. Enough of all that. But I just wanted to mention that. We want you to be encouraged. We want people to listen and like, sometimes I don't know, stuff's going on and you just like to talk about this. You know what, buddy? At the end of the day, we started this in your kitchen and we sat down and we said, we're going to talk about Tolkien. We're going to talk about our we're just going to geek out. We're going to have a good time, have a blast. And that's what we do. But at the same time, I'm not going to shy away from who I am. I am who I am, and you are who you are.
Popeye.
And I am not shying away from this muffin.
No, you're going to shine it away. That's
I
good.
cannot believe how good that muffin is.
Bro, I just ate. I feel sick.
You're done.
It too fast.
Stick a fork in Lane. He's done.
Do you think Brad Pitt spit that food out?
No, I don't.
I think he ate it too. I think he's a savage.
I think he's an absolute animal. By the way, those were some of my favorite things because, like, I'm picking food off the table right now and just like, you can kind of.
That cream cheese is good. It's subtle.
I got literally every little crumb off of your table. So
you just, which I don't think the camera captured. You literally just wiped them on the floor.
Anyways,
Yeah. So anyway, a lot of great stuff happening in our lives. We're lucky to be alive, you know. That's something else to be thankful for this season.
Yep.
Definitely. Love you, man. I love being with you. I love recording.
I love you too, buddy.
I love everyone who listens. I appreciate you being a part of the fellowship and just being a part of the conversation, and for your belief in, I don't know, conversation. That's what it's all about. Let's get into Droppin' Eves. Droppin' Eves, for the most part, is over on YouTube now. We're doing a lot of actor predictions, and by that I mean actor character predictions for the show. We've even got some speculation on what episode 1 is going to be like. I think eventually we've even started to kind of map out in our minds like how would multiple seasons work. Like what arcs are going to happen, where are we going to focus, how, what are the different, because here's the other thing too, right? Speculation, I've heard a lot of different things, all right? And I think sometimes there's this weird idea that, well, no, these are the ideas. Which one are you? No, I've got a different idea. And just because someone's
This is what I was talking about.
just because someone's billed as
Yeah.
billed as being a villain, you really think they're telling us the truth? You really think all those made up character names are really their character names?
Yeah.
No. The whole job of pre-production is to mislead people so that leaks don't get out. And so you have no idea what's coming, especially with something that you could go read right now.
Yeah.
Like they're not making anything groundbreaking. If the major pillars of the Second Age cannot be changed, the major events are already laid out for us and have been for 50 years.
Yep.
Okay? So, did I clip out there?
Nope.
Every time I
Nope.
know you look.
I looked and you were good.
Mastery, my friend. You are a master. But I just think to myself, nah, you know what? We haven't read any other people's speculation. We haven't gone on Reddit and read the community's feelings on who's playing what. This is literally us looking at Instagram, looking at the actors, paying attention to their stories, and then literally digging into the Second Age and going, okay, what could happen here? From our limited knowledge or beginnings of our knowledge, what's going to happen? So it's genuine Lane and Ez. Yeah. Some of it happens premeditated. Some of it happens from discussion. It arises and it's on the on the fly.
Some sardines.
But it's great. It's a lot. It's a weird comment. I got muffins, sardines, and pickles in my belly right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't know what to do with it all.
Yeah. Lots of foods. You know what? Bilbo doesn't actually have much food in this chapter. Like he's actually
for Bilbo.
He's actually very hungry, and we have tons of it, which is hilarious. Can I say real quick?
Yeah, I feel like
so.
I can see it.
I don't know what it is, and this is kind of what I was hitting at earlier, which is like we're at the kids' table. We're hobbits. We're just doing this for fun. We're having a good time.
Yeah, it is fun.
I literally want every single listener. It doesn't matter whether it's you're listening currently or you're going to be a listener in the future or whatever. I want you to feel like you can send us in, a comment that or theory or thought on the show or a prediction. I'm down to read anything. I'm down to entertain anything. It doesn't really matter. Like it's all for
right
fun.
now,
It's
any
all
of
for
it
fun.
could be true.
It's all a go.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Like that, we're literally in one of the most exciting times because there is no wrong answer. No one, unless you're on the show working and your name is Payne or McKay.
Unless you're
you don't
writing
know what's
us
going on.
saying, guys, what if Aragorn was actually a dwarf? Look, I'll for a while.
Well, compared to who?
Compared to
He's
who?
smaller
See?
than some.
You see. I thank
Dwarf
you.
is relative.
I knew.
Yeah, baby.
I knew you would
There's
have
a way
me.
to. I mean,
I knew.
Bombadil's God. I'll stick to that.
The thing is,
he's a Roo.
Yeah, we want. I mean, if you haven't figured out by now, I mean, Lane and I, we just love having fun, and I sincerely want folks to have a good time listening to our show and speculating on YouTube. Go check out the YouTube channel. We're having a good time there. We're having a fantastic time.
And so many great comments too. We've had
no
negative comments, which I'm shocked because I've always heard YouTube is vicious and trolls abound. But great support, awesome ideas, even some comments that have sort of shaped some videos that will be coming up. We haven't recorded them yet, but just ideas for topics we want to discuss. So thank you for that. That's wonderful participation, ideas, contributions. So it's definitely helpful, and we really enjoy that.
Yeah.
But go check that out. I don't know of any breaking show news going on right now. If you do hear of something, we're not really on Facebook anymore. Limited Instagram right now. Send us an email.
Yeah.
Get old fashioned. Send us an email. Let us know about it.
Right.
In other corners of the middle, there's some very interesting things. We do have a few. I went and I sallied forth a few comments and messages we've gotten lately, just because it's a fun time of year and it's a cool time to I don't know, just hear from other people, I think, and what they have to say as well. So, but before that, there was a recent story. Actually, Sarah Old Goldberry texted me this article that there are some new Tolkien writings being released this summer. So I believe what they are, they're unseen before, which means they've never been published. I think really what it is some of his concepts and ideas behind different things within his work. So almost kind of more of they're not new stories. It's more of like new commentary. Some of his notes. I can't pull it up because I don't have internet right now.
Here's some interesting. So one of the paragraphs reads
stuff
that
on Easterlings or something. I thought.
That's in there. The writings will touch on ideas including elvish immortality,
and
reincarnation, the powers of the Valar, the beast of Numenor, and the geography of rivers and other hills and markers in Gondor.
So I'd seen some other. Cool. I went to the NBC News article because I figured it would be the least biased. I think I saw another Lord of the Rings fan club who had an article about it, and I presumed it was going to be negative and saying, we knew this already, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you want more Tolkien or not? That's my question to you, Ez. I do.
Yes.
And if no one's seen this before, it's only academics or his friends who've seen this.
Yeah.
And they want to say, you know what? We'll make this public. People can buy it. They can read it. I'm all for that.
Yep.
You can't have it both ways.
Yep.
Okay.
I know.
Clickbaiters.
Come on now.
So anyway, that's out there. I think it's coming out in July, I believe. July like 24th, summer of 2021. So that's kind of cool. I mean, I think it's really exciting.
Yeah.
Again, maybe some stuff that will be pertinent to the show.
Well,
honestly.
That's why I like Numenor Beast. I was like, what? Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, true. Yes.
Just thoughts on that,
So some ideas there that could maybe inform what we see in the show.
Yeah.
We have some really cool conversations that have been sent our way. I just want to read them. We got Breezy Wilson Sr. Breezy reached out to us a while ago. Oh, man, way back in end of September, okay? So he writes, I'm really late to this unexpected party. I must say this podcast is extremely dope and much needed. I come from a different realm, the hood, and have no one in my immediate circle that vibes with me when it comes to Tolkien talk. Thanks for this. If you haven't talked about it yet, as I am so far behind on episodes, I want to point out that Peregrine is a Took, which makes him naturally adventurous, which is why he gets in so much trouble. Yes, he's a pain in the butt, but his bloodline is in him and he can't help it. A lot of fans miss this fact. So I just wanted to point out another small gem hidden in plain sight. Keep up the good work.
Absolutely.
Breezy got back to us and said, I'm listening to episode 4 and you guys brought up the Hobbit/elf relation, and right after you discussed something overcoming Frodo that made him want to get off the road. I think y'all are on to something, because in the beginning of The Return of the King, Legolas sensed that Sauron was in their midst while Pippin had the Palantir. I don't know, but it's a logical and pretty dope theory. So I love Breezy. This is amazing, man. Like, if we are the only ones that vibe with you on Tolkien Talk, it is an honor for me, my friend. It's an honor for us.
Cool.
And it is cool. The one thing we've discovered through doing this podcast is there are a lot of people who don't have friends or anyone around them that shares this interest, or that they know of anyway. They haven't discovered, or maybe those friends don't even really understand it. Don't get it. Like,
we
like
lucked
me.
out. We lucked out in that, like, I was able to talk to you and my buddy Tom.
But before it was a movie, I didn't care. I didn't know about it.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? I think a lot of people.
Well, do you think more connections are going to be happening as the show comes? Right, like people are going to. Right.
It's going to be insane.
It's awesome. It's
gonna,
so cool.
I think it'll
cool
mainstream
part,
it more than even the
happy
movies, man. I think even the movies will not have done as much as the show. I think the show is going to blow it up.
Okay.
So anyway, Breezy, shout out to you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
Brennan Downey also messaged us. This is very recent. I think this Tuesday, maybe. I recently cracked my jaw and have it wired shut. It's like Brennan didn't write this, but that's Kanye style. If you have never experienced it, I don't recommend it. I decided to rewatch the entire Hobbit / Lord of the Rings movie since I was also hopping through my own unexpected journey. Being a lifelong fan of the books, movies, and everything based on Tolkien's world, I quickly found myself simultaneously watching the animated versions, researching every question I have on the net, and fully immersing myself in Middle-earth. I came across your podcast and started at the beginning. I never would have suspected that I would be so drawn in by you and your show. It shocks us too, brother.
Yeah.
It has become a highlight of my journey. You both have such genuine excitement and passion for the work, and it really shows. I've always felt that when something is genuine and true, it shines through, and others cannot help you. Just so thank you. I'm not reading that for the the compliments he's given us. Just a shout out to Brennan.
Yeah.
I hope your jaw feels better. That's crazy. What a wild story. I would kind of like to hear how that. Maybe I wouldn't like to hear how that happened, but that kind of stuff's nuts. When things like that happen and you're laid up for a while and you have no choice but to go in.
It's a deep dive.
And to go back.
Yeah, you're going back. Yeah.
There's nothing else you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, wired shut, he probably can't talk right now, I'm guessing. Like that was the thing. The only reason I think of Kanye West is Kanye West was famous. He like his breakthrough song was Through the Wire. And it's a song that he rapped with his mouth wired, like his jaw wired shut. And it was incredibly painful. It took a really long time for him to produce. And because of that, people were like, holy cow, this guy. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah.
I know he's a kind of a polarizing figure, but I'm a huge fan. I loved Kanye for a long time.
No, a lot of
still,
people
his music's
Absolutely.
amazing. Yeah. And then a message we got from Brianne Cruz. She says, hello, I do not expect you all to ever see this. Wow. People who say that, we're almost always going to put it to the top of the deck and read it pretty quickly. So just be careful. But I felt I need to message you anyways. I have been a fan of Lord of the Rings since the first movie came out in theaters years ago. I was in first grade at the time, and Legolas became my first crush.
Really?
I mean, I think a lot of us can relate to that. Mine was Aragorn.
Yours was
yours was Gandalf.
Gimli. Okay.
As the years have gone by, can you imagine Gimli's lower back ponytail? As the years have gone by,
but
I've tried reading the books several times, but have never gotten far. I will get into them, but then life gets in the way. I discovered your podcast a few months ago and love it. I am still not able to read the books, but at least I'm getting the story from your eyes. Scary thought. I'm on episode 13 and look forward to all the episodes to come. So, Brianne, we're thankful you're on this journey with us. It's cool. We haven't done that for a while. Kind of read up front some uppers, ideas, and messages. So keep sending those our way. Those were on Facebook. I check that every once in a while. Not very often. What are you laughing about? Final. I don't want to say final plug, but I feel like I've been giving Isaac like maybe.
Oh, we should plug it because I've seen it.
Well, and it's right over there. It's
yep.
You can't see it in the
shot.
That is hard.
You kind of can see it.
Right there it is. I put it up. But we it's so ironic that my maps took forever to get here from Isaac. Forever. And I think last episode we were talking to Dave. Dave had gotten his and we were joking around. I'm like, okay, what's the secret, bud? What's the secret? And the next day I went to the post office and ours were sitting there. The next day. They probably were there that day. So I didn't have to say that. You know what I mean? It's I don't know why it's funny. I know what you're laughing at. So anyway, go check out Isaac. The maps are even. Dave wasn't kidding. And Dave, I don't know what happened, man. Mount Vernon is right on there.
Dave, I love you.
And you said that last week, and I was thinking like, okay, maybe I missaw or whatever. But I remember thinking, I'm pretty sure Mount Vernon's on that map. Mount Vernon was our hometown.
Right.
And so we talked about it before. It's where LEP4 is going to be.
Yeah.
And it's on the Ohio map, so it's there, and there was no special favor asked. Anyway, the whole story is that Isaac put Amanda. It was not on that Ohio map.
No.
He put it on the one that not just goes out to us, but goes out to everybody, and it's beautiful. I love.
Can you believe? I still am actually blown away that he did that.
It was such a generous,
actually is such a
kind
cool
act. And I love it too because I look at Ohio, and I really do. I know that I talk about this all the time. So if you get sick of Soliloquy Lane, just fast forward, please. I apologize. But I look at Ohio and I think we always think of the Shire as being on the borders of the wild, right? The borders of the wild. It's this quaint, quintessential, somewhat tame land that's just on the edge of mountains and big rivers and, you know, everything in between, magical forests, all this stuff. And I look at that map and legit where Amanda is, like nestled in the foothills, and you look north and west, and it's all farmland and agrarian, and it's settled and it's cultivated. And you look southeast, like just southeast, just over the cusp, and it's foothills, and you've got the Allegheny Plateau, and you've got the Appalachian Plateau, the foothills of these mountains that are the oldest mountains, I believe, in North America.
Yep.
The Appalachian Mountains are historic.
Yep.
Prehistoric. So anyway, and just in that way, it feels so much like the Shire. And I look on that, I'm like, there we are. We're right there. And it's even got like little tiny, like you didn't know this, just looking at the map, obviously, but there are these little tiny hills that are right around Amanda. And you go outside and you look around, you look off into the distance on the horizon, and you see these little flowing hills that eventually turn into the foothills that eventually turn into these ancient mountains. So it's magical. So thank you, Isaac, for that again. The maps in person, all I'd say, the maps in person are even better than I thought they were going to be. They're beautiful prints. The detail's insane. They look so much like Tolkien's maps. It's unbelievable, almost indistinguishable. So he's going through all the 50 states. He's going all over the world now. He's making these giant like canvas wall hangings for certain states and the United States that you can get. So go check him out. He's Lord_of_Maps on Instagram. I think he has an Etsy shop as well. I mean, if you search Lord of the Rings state maps, you're going to find him. So go check him out. And yeah, thank you again for that, Isaac.
Yeah.
You have a joke you want to share, or
no,
something you can't unsee?
Yeah, there's definitely something I can't unsee.
I gotta say, you got a screen saver or wallpaper.
Back when we first started this, we contemplated sharing the Google Doc with folks. I think that is like
long gone.
You talk about keep it secret, keep it safe. That idea has it long flew the coop along. Well, I don't even know what I'm trying to say there. Coop-a-dee. It's out the coop. Long
that
time ago.
Chicken's a sandwich now at this point, right?
The eggs are hatched. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Nice. You guys would not believe what Lane puts in the stock sometimes. It keeps me on my toes. On my tippy toes.
Just keep your shoes off. Hobbit feet.
Oh, right? My gosh. Hey, one more thing I want to mention before we dive into the chapter here. LEP4.
Oh.
That's what I mentioned. So we, I kind of talked to Lane, and we have still a green light.
Yeah.
Still got some cool stuff in the works. Still working through all the details. Wanted to let folks know about that. Yeah. I believe we are going to make a Facebook event, right?
Yes, we are.
Very soon here.
You just jogged my memory for a couple other things.
Yeah.
Yes, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're going to make that so that way folks can kind of go in there and I know it's a long ways away, but folks were already kind of looking at hotels and things like that. And so that's exciting. You know, I'm hoping 2021 is you know, I know we started this whole episode with just kind of like being thankful and reflective and forgiving and all these different things. It's just been a rough year. It's just been crazy. I'm looking forward to 2021.
Yeah, me too.
And I hope folks will come out to that if you have a chance. It's going to be up in Mount Vernon.
It's going to be bigger and better than ever.
Yeah. And
ever.
We're going to have some cool kind of scavenger search stuff going on. Different things we've got planned out with our buddy Max, by the way. So that'll be fun.
And that's another thing I wanted to give a shout out to Max as well, and his flexibility and all of our friends at Paragraphs Bookstore, because this was the episode that we were going to be recording at Paragraphs in Mount Vernon. We were supposed to be there, you know, a few hours ago, right?
Yeah.
And just with the new kind of stipulations with regards to the pandemic, numbers in Ohio are like insane. Yeah. And so I actually texted the wrong number. Max gave us a typo on his number. I texted him like about a week ago, and I'm like, man, is Max okay? I said, I'm not on Instagram anymore. I was like, is everything all right? And
nowadays you think people are, you know, sick.
I know, or mad at you. And so he but thankfully my buddy Max is not mad at me. So he got back with Ez and said, "Oh yeah, I didn't get those messages." So thankfully,
Max, we love you, man. And I'm so glad. He reached out to me, and so I'm glad we were able to kind of
So with that, but I think what we kind of talked about was rescheduling, hopefully for the spring when a lot of this hopefully is resolved or at least more manageable, and we could maybe even finish there and then kind of really even ramp up the party and be there in the springtime. That'll be beautiful too. Mount Vernon in the spring is gorgeous, and be in the bookstore and
because I absolutely love that store and the crazy thing is and everyone knows this right now, but here we're like a week or two away from pretty critical stuff, and so it just in the effort to be
not prudent,
right. I mean, unnecessary different things, and so I don't know. We all have loved ones and people we care about and we're thinking about and stuff, and it's just I don't know. That's just it's what's on the mind. So
also, a little studio update. So anyway,
let's go. We're drawing this job.
This is big time because I wanted to address a lot of people people who contributed to the Kickstarter who gave us very kindly and generously gave us money almost 2 years ago now, right? So I want to say like 7-8 months ago, some things happened and sort of changed the direction of the studio. We're still making the studio. We still have plans to get out of this dining room, even though I don't know, man. It's kind of
got a system down.
It's kind of hard. Like it's where it all started. It's sort of hard to leave, but there is plans. They've changed quite a bit. Ez and I are going to figure them out. We're going to do them ourselves. Can't thank Kev enough for all of his hard work and all of his leadership and guidance, and we're still going to use that space out in the garage. It's just going to be for something else. And just it's just the way that it's happened. It's just the way it's happened. But all that being said, if you gave money to the Kickstarter, I don't think we've ever said this. Your money was spent a long time ago.
Yeah.
On flooring, on materials that we still have that are just sitting waiting to be used in a new way for the studio. So
first of all, we don't like the cost of that was we did not realize
the Kickstarter did not cover.
Not even close. Remember the estimate we got? Remember the estimate we got? Let's not talk about that.
I do. We'll reveal that at some point.
Lord.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Holy Lord.
Anyway, it's just changed, and it's my garage. It's my house, and so I had sort of a change of heart. But it will still be awesome, and all of you who contributed will still be honored in that studio. Your name will be up there. So,
but guys, I will say
it is actually a pretty exciting idea.
Let me say this because this is starting. Well, it's already started. It started it started back in the summer. Okay.
Yeah, it did.
You and I know it did. Okay. And so I'll just say this: I know what's going to happen, and let me tell you, not only is it unexpected, it's awesome.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. So I am actually legitimately stoked, and it's way better than we could have possibly imagined. Yeah. So that is exciting for me, and I'll leave you with that. And there will be updates coming. Well,
maybe not.
Maybe not. But 2021 is a good year. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah. All right,
brother. That's all I got, man. We're gonna wrap this up. No, just kidding.
Well,
we have to get into this.
Well, in this chapter, and yes,
out of the frying pan into the
something. Isn't that what I said?
What was it?
Isn't that what I said?
No, that's what I was trying to cover for you. You just gave yourself away right there.
That's what I said earlier. I'm always talking to Lane, and
don't even talk about Tolkien.
I said, "What chapter are we on? Out of the frying pan into the something."
Into the something.
Literally,
right
you said,
into the something.
You said, "Can I quote you on that?" I said, yeah, "Absolutely."
I almost wrote it down.
Absolutely,
I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Mm-hmm. That's just mean spirited.
No. So, okay, friends. Here's the deal. We played a bunch of riddles. Mm-hmm. We had a great time with Dave. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad we got that in because I kind of look for going forward. As we hinted at, things are some of our guest spots are going to be a little bit different. I think just got some craziness going on, but I'm very happy we had Dave. We had a chance to sit down, talk through that chapter. It was a little gloomy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A little dark.
But we played a game of riddles. And one of the coolest things, and so we're going to kind of do, and I hope you're cool with this.
Yeah.
More major takeaways from this chapter.
I'm down. This is one of those chapters where there wasn't a whole lot that stood out to me. Big stuff happens. Obviously, we got a big confrontation with the wolves and the goblins, and the eagles save our butts.
Hold on, wait. I've always wanted to do a too long didn't read because they do this on like whether it's Reddit or different long posts. They call it too long didn't read. And I thought, like, you know, if Julian and not that we not
Hey guys.
that, oh, there he is.
Julian here. So pretty much what happens in
There
this
we go.
chapter is you got Bilbo coming back and he's just saying, I don't know, I'm fine, no problems, just my headache. Well, how you get out of there? They said, I'm okay. Gandalf says, man, he's my boy. You sit down, short guys. Not you, the shortest guy. It's the bigger ones. You know. And they go, man, we've been already so long. I think from Goblin. I hear Goblin stuff. So they run away, and they're just, you know, overcome. It's getting nighttime, and wolves and goblins, they got go up in the Christmas trees. Who will figure it? Elves and dwarves in the Christmas tree, right? Then it's crazy. They start biting the branches, bringing them down. And Gandalf says, man, I got the secret fire, baby. I'm gonna throw them down. I'm gonna burn these boys up. We're getting out of here. And then what happens is sort of backfires. You got a lot of things that happen. Then eagles come in, take them out, and man, Bilbo is saying, "I'm gonna pee myself. I'm so happy." And he gripping on his thought. And at one point he's gonna fall off. His fingers are white. He can't even. He's dead meat. He's dead rabbit. Then they make it to the eyrie. And they're feeling real irie, and they see far off, and they're fine. They're fine. Don't worry about them. Gandalf got them, and Eagles got them. They sing some, you know, they hear some bad songs, and bad words, and they're off to somewhere queer.
Right. So
they're okay.
Literally, as Julian just put it, out of the frying pan into the fire, but also safe. Okay,
They're fine.
So
No
don't
problem.
worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I've always thought
It
those
goes
are,
through some crap and they're fine.
yeah. I've always thought those are funny. Like I
don't
said,
even know what
like,
that is.
I don't even know. What. Well, basically, it is basically. It is just a summary. It's just like you're just off the cuff riffing a summary, and I've always thought those are really, really kind of hilarious. And I did one the other day for my students about Melkor in the First Age. And you know,
Wow,
and like they're like, what's it all about? And I was like, I can only tell you like the first chapter. And so I just started kind of, you know, riffing. I was like, look, there's this guy, he's a god, he's singing. Look, you know, they're all singing. The world gets made. You know, you just start like making stuff up.
Pretty
You're
much
look,
like Hillary, my sister, trying to talk about Lord of the Rings.
Exactly. You're like, it's a couple brothers. One guy's bad, one guy's good. I mean, you make it real
Age-old
simple.
tale, you know.
Kind of like angels, right? One's Lucifer, he fell down. This whole thing. You
Got
know what I
hurt,
mean?
but then...
Right. You just keep going. You're like, oh, but then look, there's lesser angels. Look, they're cool. One turns out to be a wizard way later on. I mean, we're talking 3 ages later. He's a wizard.
He's my boys, Gandalf.
I mean, it's just nuts, right? So I love that. So thank you, Julian. I appreciate that.
welcome.
That actually gets us into that. That basically covered the chapter, so we can kind of talk about major
Pretty much.
takeaways. Because to me, one of the biggest things was when Bilbo comes out of here and he escapes the goblins, he's realizing, well, he still has the ring on. You know, he still has the ring on. And so, and legitimately, I'm going to try to not read a whole lot from this chapter and just talk to you guys about bigger points that I thought were interesting, because he has that ring on. And before I forget it, because I kept telling myself, do not forget this. Later on, look after he gets the ring and listen to how many times, I think there's twice in this chapter, and I haven't looked for it in other chapters moving forward, but look at how many times they reference the word ring. And not just the actual physical ring.
Right.
I mean like a ring of fire.
Using ring to describe
and that they were surrounded by a ring of goblins. Wow. And I was like, what? So I was like, hold on a second. And seemingly,
is it a significant number of rings, like 9 or 7
I don't
or 3
know.
or something?
I haven't done, you know, I mean, again, is that, I mean,
I'm the numbers boy. It's
and at this point, like,
good.
it wasn't that much of, it wasn't something that was majorly emphasized in just, I guess, in Tolkien's mind, you know what I mean? Like, the ring wasn't, like, that far developed into this one ring. But at the same time, it was significant enough that, like, Bilbo's not talking about it. Like, he sneaks up on, who is it he gets past? Is it Balin, right? He sneaks right past Balin. Balin looks right at him. I'm pretty sure it's him.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't see him. You can't see him. He's invisible.
Yeah.
The ring has its power. And so he's working his way down here. He actually, there's a good moment for Bilbo. I like this moment. I'm glad we got it because it adds to his character where he thinks back into the mountain and he thinks, shoot, my friends are in there. I've got to go back.
Got to go back, my friend.
That's hard.
Yeah.
You like imagine a burning building or a burning mountain.
Yeah.
And you're going to go in there and it's foreign to you. It's not even like a house that you know how to navigate and get around. You don't know what's in there. But yet he said it's the right thing to do.
And you just spent all that time trying to get out.
Yes.
Too.
Yes. But I bet my friends are still in there. I have this ring. I've seen how it works. I'm going back in. And I thought, let's go. Like,
Sounds kind of like a similar but totally different position that Tumnus found himself in. Going to do something really bad.
True.
No, I'm not.
True. You have a
Making
choice.
the right decision.
Yeah, exactly. You have a choice.
Before it's too late. Yeah.
And that's why I thought it was interesting. You know, I get where they in the movie they did this thing where Thorin and the dwarves are kind of talking about Bilbo. Just leave this guy.
Yeah.
What? Especially after all the clip art I just saw in there. Really?
There's something burning.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like it's interesting. So Gandalf says, and as you said, as Julian said, that's my guy.
That's the one I have.
That's my Hobbit.
That's the line that I have underlined. That'd be one of my biggest takeaways. Is I love when Gandalf does this when the hobbits, the dwarves start to question like his importance, right? And really, if you think about it, what has he really done so far? Not as much as he's about to do in the next.
It's about to level up
12
here.
chapters or whatever.
But
right?
yeah. But in their eyes, not.
Not so much. I mean, he kind of, sort of helped them with the trolls, even though that was really mostly Gandalf.
Found a key.
Yeah. But whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you got lucky, kid. It's like he's still a rookie kind of a deal.
Right,
he's the newbie, right? And and Gandalf who says this angrily. So he has this every once in a while. He'll come out and be like, "Nah, you know what? I brought him." And I don't bring things that are of no use. It's almost like it's a personal attack on Gandalf too. Like not only are you disrespecting Bilbo, but you're questioning me.
That's true.
As a leader in this company and as a wizard. Sit down, stop questioning. Either you help me to look for him, or I go and leave you here to get out of the mess as best you can yourselves. If we can only find him again, you will thank me before all is over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and one of the things he says, after all, he is my friend. So earlier, just before that, after all, he's my friend and not a bad little chap. I feel responsible for him. I wish to goodness you had not lost him. You know? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's cool to see Gandalf kind of have that type of demeanor, attitude, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is, connection, relationship with Bilbo. Yeah. And it just continues to develop, and it's why we love it so much in The Lord of the Rings. It's why later on it's so good because you can see it starting here, and you see that these dwarves were kind of grumbly, kind of like, like a little grumpy, like, I don't know, come on, what has he done? Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like,
they get this way when they get out of a difficult situation, don't they? They turn very...
Yeah, and because they had just gotten out of this. And it's like, look, we barely made it.
Right.
Look, Gandalf, you're powerful, buddy, but we're not going back in there for this guy.
Not crazy.
He signed the contract. Man, we said, like, this might happen. And so, anyways, I just think it's interesting.
It is wild, dude. And that's their... Like, if it was a dwarf, they would have gone back. Right?
Well, and this is where... And that is the whole art, this whole story... That is something that's interesting. They did a good job in the movie of showing how Bilbo and the dwarves sort of like bond over home and relation, kinship and different things. Yeah. He becomes one of them. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's pretty neat. And he's super significant later on. We'll get into all of that, but I mean it's pretty cool. Yeah. So I thought it was interesting that they always Dory. Like, Dory is the one getting left and right.
Yeah,
Dory,
he gets
why?
The shaft, doesn't he?
Daggone it, Dory. Why did you not? You dropped him. You didn't pick him up. Help him up the tree.
Dory, who invited you
Come
anyway?
on, Dory, what's going on? It is crazy. And he goes on. I mean, literally, he's got a really good point. Like Gandalf, it's almost a little too much. Like, oh, hold on a second. Like, Dory's almost like, guys, I had to duck to get out of the way of all the goblin cleaving that was going on. There was goblin cleavers everywhere.
You're very close there.
Right? And
very
it was nuts.
To some
it was nuts. So it was, and then he's doing blinding lights, and Dory's like, "How was I supposed to keep track of this guy?"
Yeah.
Legitimately, like,
Right.
it's crazy.
Did he even know it was his job? Was it his job?
Did they have a secret little sort of like, now listen, you're on Hobbit duty. It's you today.
You got Bill Dor.
Ballin's got him next week.
Yeah.
You're on this one.
Actually, you know what? You're on every week.
Oh,
we got
my
other things to
gosh.
do.
So anyways, so Bilbo's listening in on this, and it's got to be something, and he's thinking, they don't see me. I snuck past Ballin, whatever. And he says, and here's your burglar. Here's your burglar. Here's your burglar. Said Bilbo, stepping down into the middle of them and slipping off the ring. Bless me, how they jumped. Then they shouted with surprise and delight. Gandalf was astonished.
Yeah.
Now, he's a wizard, right?
Yeah.
To surprise him is a big deal.
Yeah,
Wait,
right.
what?
Yeah.
You don't sneak up on a wizard.
No, you don't.
No
This
one.
is something Gandalf does to other people.
Exactly. No one sneaks up
Yeah,
on him.
yeah,
So he is very, that he won't forget this. That's something you just don't forget, right? So yeah, if they had doubted that he was it was really a first class burglar, in spite of Gandalf's words, they doubted no longer. Just because of his sneakiness and because he just, and the fact that he's able to get out of there on his own, I think to them they're sort of like, wait, and I say in quotes, on his own.
Right.
But really it was his battle, his riddle battle.
Yeah.
Which they take a special interest in. Which I thought was cool because Dave and I were kind of talking about the ancient sort of like the magic and the respect behind the game of riddles.
Yeah.
And it must be something in lore or mythology, and I would love for listeners or someone to kind of let us know maybe more about that. And where Tolkien kind of, you got some like inspiration for that.
Yeah, like those mental battles.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly, because it's like that was well respected, and the dwarves took particular interest in that.
Yeah, isn't that
and they were
interesting?
like, they wanted all the details, and then and it was funny the way Bilbo kind of said that, like, when he mentioned Gollum, they totally, like, the shudder, he got the full effect, like, they were like, what, dude, who is this? What is this thing? It's almost like, I think Bilbo's a good storyteller,
Oh, yeah.
and you know how you and I love to tell stories and exaggerate. I love to exaggerate. I love to tell a tall tale.
Yeah.
I really do, and it is so much fun. And half the time I'm sitting there on that couch, it's a true story, but I'm gonna embellish a little bit.
Augmented slightly.
It's augmented.
Yeah,
So,
but then it's kind of cool seeing that sort of, because before I don't imagine the Bilbo that we find way back in an Unexpected Party to be a very interesting storyteller. Like, I think maybe he wants to be, but he probably would think it's sort of below him, or he'd rather be a listener, or it's just something that a well-to-do hobbit wouldn't do. He wouldn't tell a story with embellishments or anything like that. And I think that we're starting to see his transformation into a storyteller, or his development, or his indulging on that storyteller aspect of his personality.
yeah.
He's going, okay, well, this is kind of fun. I like telling stories. I don't have to tell him about the ring.
Maybe this is, like it kind of starts to kind of,
yeah.
And also sometimes if you like a good story and you like a tall tale, you might be someone who's interested in telling a tale.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah,
so, because I think
absolutely.
that was something in his early days. He did he was thinking, and even in the riddle game, he's thinking about all of the great, one of the riddles to answer it, he was trying to think of, like, what are all the, terrible, great, powerful things and legends and lore and stuff that he had heard. And so you're like, well, okay, Bilbo knows his stuff.
Yeah.
And you find out later too, even in the Lord of the Rings, that like Bilbo does know. He is very, Bilbo does know. Oh, it haunts me. It haunts me.
Oh, it haunts, man. It haunts me. And but to love something and appreciate something, but then to also be able to do that.
Yeah.
That's not everyone, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely,
do
absolutely.
that.
Yeah, just because you want to doesn't mean you can, and he can.
Yeah, he can.
And
I think he's finding that here.
He's finding
that
it.
kind of what's
Yeah,
going on.
I do. I think that's a really good point, because actually he starts to kind of, I think he's looking at his audience, and again he's trying to impress them.
Yeah.
You have the goal and the motivation to say, I need to sell myself here.
Impress these
I need to be
dwarves.
persuasive, right? So you start to kind of.
You said it.
Yeah. So as he's saying these things, he's talking about like dodging guards and all these different things, and And the dwarves looked at him with a new respect when he talked about dodging guards, jumping over Gollum, and squeezing through as if it were not very difficult or alarming. So not very difficult. And it was Gandalf who was like, what did I tell you? Mr. Baggins has more about him than you would guess.
He's my man.
As he says that, though, it's such good acting. Exactly. To see Gandalf kind of like say that with your mouth, but with your eyes look over to... You say that to the left, and then to the right you look over, and underneath your bushy eyebrows, you're giving Bilbo that look like, but I don't believe all of it.
And you know why? You know what scene it takes me back to immediately is the very beginning with that good morning.
Uh-huh.
And that look where he's looking over going, you're not telling us the truth. It's good morning all over again.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Right. Yeah,
you're
it is, actually.
You're a prim and proud. You've changed, Bilbo. And so he remembers that he's not that far removed from being this little, he's not a hardened hobbit yet.
Yeah.
Can I say that?
Yeah, for
Should
sure.
we just go explicit?
I got you. I'm not sure if we have yet or not. I am about to move on to Gandalf, though, so who knows? Maybe we will get explicit.
Let's do it.
He
What?
does... Well, just I love Gandalf so much. Gandalf, though, is... So Bilbo, he wants to know, like, okay, hey, catch me up. I told you what's up and what happened to me.
Story for a story.
Story for a story here, so let's go. And Gandalf is not one to really like to retell his stories and where he went, and he's a man of, secret guy. So what does he say? I must see if I can't find a more or less decent... Oh, sorry, let me back up here. Let's see. The wizard, to tell the truth, never minded explaining his cleverness more than once. So now he told Bilbo that that both he and Elrond had been well aware of the presence of evil goblins in that part of the mountain, but their main gate used to come out at a different pass, one more easy to travel by. So that's cool. So Gandalf wasn't intentionally, he did know something. How's that pickle? Or is that a sardine? Which one are you working on over there? Is that a crunchy sardine? Could you imagine?
Boy, you're cute, aren't you?
I'm sorry.
You're just real cute, aren't
Evidently, I thought I almost tipped over the entire computer. Wow.
That would be a close second to burning that thing out.
Would be something. Sorry, guys. A lot of technical difficulties over here today. We got her. Don't worry about it.
Well, not really.
Not really. I just mean like I almost knocked her with, all of that.
User error.
So anyways, Gandalf, though, is... We learned about kind of what happened, though, when he heard Bilbo's cry back when at that sort of the door, the cavern where they're first captured by the goblins. It was Bilbo's yell that caused Gandalf to realize what had happened, and in the flash, which killed the goblins that were grabbing him...
I forgot about that.
He had nipped inside the crack just as it snapped to. No joke. He followed after the drivers and the prisoners right to the edge of the great hall, and there he sat down and worked up the best magic he could in the shadows. Imagine that. Gandalf over there just working in the shadows, working up some magic. Pretty cool. So then, he goes on about it a little bit and starts talking about... Basically, you learn about his special study of bewitchments with fire and lights. He hints that it's a speciality of his,
Which comes in handy this chapter, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And so that's really cool.
How dare you?
It's what's in the text. So that's pretty neat. And then they talk about making their way to the gate, and that's all of that. So, but the wizard then, so once he tells the story, right? He says that we must get on, right? They've got to move on, and so there's miles to go. And the moon, he's worried about the moon and basically like the light by which they will see as they move forward. Yep. So, now really this is where you get into, and this happens like nonstop throughout. This is like several paragraphs worth, and this is what Tolkien does. Bilbo is hungry.
Very hungry.
Just reminding you about the nature of hobbits.
Hobbits, dreadfully hungry.
Dreadfully hungry. There's nothing to be done for it though. And we have to just move forward. We can't, we have to move away from this mountainside.
He hadn't had a meal since the night before last.
Wow.
That is some IF hardcore.
Yeah. Just think about that for a hobbit, right? Oh gosh. Yeah. And so what he's doing along the way, as they work their way, it was as they continue on, he's looking for blackberries, right? He finds some blackberries.
I forgot this.
Couple of different things, hawthorn berries and stuff that he kind of eats, just little things to kind of tide him over, and that's basically all.
There weren't any though.
I thought he ate some.
No, it said he looked for them, but there weren't any. They're still in flower.
Only in flower.
Yeah, no hawthorn berries, no nuts.
So he did nibble on a bit of, I don't know what that
sorrel.
is. Yeah,
Isn't it like a type of mushroom or something?
Okay,
no,
and
that's a morel.
and he
Let me
drank-
look up what sorrel is.
Yeah. Okay. So sorrel. He drank from a small mountain stream that crossed the path. What in the
That
world
was
was that?
my voice.
Was that you?
Sorrel is a small. It is not a mushroom. That is morel. I'm not sure what my throat just did. It's a perennial herb in the family of Polygonaceae. Other names for sorrel include spinach dock and narrow-leaved dock. It is a common plant in grassland habitats and is cultivated as a garden herb or salad vegetable. So he's probably not going to be too thrilled that he just got sorrel.
Yeah, it didn't seem like.
There. Okay, here you go. The French translation of sour for sorrel is spot on. These leaves have an intense lemony tang.
Okay.
In Scotland, it's called golkamit.
Okay.
Brother,
Sounds good.
get it on the Highlands and then shove it in your mouth.
So lemons.
Lemony tang.
That does not sound
Sounds
good.
terrible.
It sounds
Well,
bad.
I mean, we kind of had
Hey,
that, didn't we?
We did. I'm having it right now, but it is what it is. Yeah. So, all right. Well, hey, let's move on. So he's getting, I guess, just enough to kind of tide him over here, and that's good because there's like this mountain slide. Like they basically like pebbles start to kind of give way, and as they're traversing the mountain, like boom, it slides out from underneath them.
Yeah, I know that.
They slide down, and they basically catch like it's the trees that kind of save them, and they're able to. Some of them, jump up on the trees and hold on or whatever. And so that was kind of, crazy. And Gandalf says, well, that has got us on a bit. And even goblins tracking us will have a job to come down here quietly. So basically like, it's going to be, that sucked, but hey, it might have worked out.
Kind of saved us.
Right. All right. And let's see, they're still trying to move along. The sun had long gone behind the mountains. Already the shadows were deepening about them, though far away through the trees, over the black tops, those growing lower downs, they could still see the evening lights on the plains below. All right, so at times they were pushing through a sea of bracken with tall fronds rising right above the Hobbit's head. At times they were marching along quiet over a floor of pine needles. All right, so there we go. There was no wind that evening to bring even a sea sighing into the branches of the trees. So
it's so
really
interesting.
quiet.
Yeah, and it's so interesting too. I had that underlined and circled. How this has nothing to do with the story, but it really is amazing. In the middle of summer, leaves are full on. You get those big, long, windy days. It really does sound like the ocean. You ever laid outside, closed your eyes, and thought, "Am I at the beach?"
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like the sound of the
sound
wind
of that,
through the
absolutely.
leaves.
I've
It's
done right out here in your backyard.
Yeah, isn't it incredible?
Yes,
mean,
I have. Yeah,
It's amazing how I don't know, people who don't live by the ocean and they want that. I think just go outside, close your eyes, and enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stick your feet in a pool and you're there.
Yeah, so that is
No
kind
sharks.
of that's kind of and it's so quiet that I think the more quiet it is, those little sounds can sound like
Magnifies them.
they're magnified.
You're paranoid about making any
you
noise
notice
at
them
all.
more. You also make more connections and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And you think about how quiet that is, and then they kind of get to a place where it seems kind of like, oh, this is not. For some reason, they had a feeling that this wasn't a good place, and out of nowhere, they hear this howling, like this great wolf howling.
Yeah.
And so Bilbo's
good.
like, I've never. So he admits that he's never actually heard that, but he did have a relative of some kind who who used to imitate. He knew right away that was a wolf. He knew. So he had never heard one, but he knew what that was because he knew it from stories. He knew it from relatives imitating it, people who had heard what a wolf was. and he freaks out. And so you kind of imagine like
One of his older cousins on the Took side.
yeah, imagine if that makes sense.
Who'd
right?
been a great traveler.
So if you had never heard a wolf before and you'd heard it described and you did like a big old howl or whatever, and you did that for little kids and they'd never heard it, but then little kids kind of grew up and they heard it in the wild.
Yeah.
But they knew because people can imitate that.
I don't even know of anything I can compare to that. Do you have something that would compare?
Well, I mean, okay, so I guess you didn't think about the first time you ever heard a wolf howl or you heard something like that. So my neighbor had a husky.
Yeah.
And wow,
their howls are beautiful.
You know it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But if you don't know what it is
Freaks you out.
as a youngster,
Yeah.
what was that?
Yeah. That's true.
And it was the fall the first time we heard. I mean, I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And I remember going, "What?" I remember being really little. I mean, really, and our neighbor down the road had one, and I was like, "What is that?"
I guess maybe like a similar thing
It just
would
kind
be
of spooks you
because
because
freaks you out.
still quiet of the night, moon,
Yeah.
whatever. And I remember we were out with our
It's
neighbor.
a wild sound. It doesn't sound like a pet dog.
Yeah,
a noise
yeah,
that
and you're
would
like, "Whoa!" That just split through the night.
Yeah.
And it's like
That's cool.
It is cool. And then so you didn't think like imagine if someone else just yelled out, even just anyone yelling out in the night.
Sasquatch.
It like
Wow, that was kind of loud, wasn't it?
loud.
Shoot.
That was big old
The girls out.
that's big old squatch call.
Gotta go big or go home. I mean, okay, maybe like the like seeing wild animals in books or something like that, or on TV shows, but then actually seeing them in the wild would be another
Yeah.
kind of similar experience. Like I still, when I see red-tailed hawks, I still can't look away.
Yeah.
Like, how are those things just around all the time? They're
Yeah,
eagles.
yeah.
They're eagles flying around,
Right.
and no one cares. They're beautiful, like birds. They're all the time, dude. You've probably seen them all the time driving up 22, coming into Amanda.
Oh, yeah.
They sit on the fence posts.
Yeah, I've
they
seen
sit
them.
in the trees. They hunt in those fields because of all those
100% I've seen
mice.
them. I'm not even messing
yeah.
with you. I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
them. Yeah, absolutely. And I've thought to myself, wow. And it's not just once or twice. I know exactly. They're right there.
Those are the descendants. Wow. Of these Gwaihir and Gwaithlo.
Wow.
Isn't that
It's a
crazy?
big deal. That's a big deal. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? It's factual.
Yeah. They just get smaller and smaller.
So, anyways, they hear this, right? And let me. There's a good part here. Even magic rings are not much use against wolves, especially against the evil packs that lived under the shadow of the goblin-infested mountains. Wow. So, okay, all right. Because right there he explains why he doesn't just use the ring again, right?
Yeah.
Because he's going to get in kind of a life or death situation here, and Dory again is called upon to bring him up in the tree. So Gandalf says, "Up these trees, here we go," and everyone's looking back. Bilbo can't get up the tree, and no one helped him up. No one could do whatever, and he's just like, "Oh, well, what do I do?"
What do I do?
Like he's trying to get up, and it's every man, it's every door for himself. And so, anyways, they're up in the trees, and the wolves are kind of moving in, right?
Why wasn't that also Dory's job?
It is his job. That's what they're saying.
Oh, sorry.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, they're getting on him.
Yeah.
Why? My question is, why is it Dory's job? Why? Come on.
Dude, if you're
Is it his
going
week?
out for a night out, Dory's the babysitter. He's the one. He's the most gentle.
I guess so.
He's the kindest. You're like, you know what? You're going to be able to help take care of him. That's your role.
Yeah,
That's why we brought you.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So literally, and it's actually Nori who says to Dory, "You've left the burglar behind again." What? Like, no, Gandalf. It's almost like he's saying,
Brothers giving each other crap.
Gandalf just yelled at us for this.
Yeah.
You go down there and get him.
Get him.
So he
I
does.
do love too how before that we get the whole explanation of where out of the frying pan into the fire comes from. That it's a proverb now because of was it Bilbo who said escaping goblins to be caught by wolves. So literally over the years it goes from escaping goblins to be caught by wolves to out of the frying pan into the fire.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
So it's like months ago when I read this and I caught that and I was like, it's great. On the way down here, I was like, where is that line? Because I was trying to find that line. And it's the line at the end where they talk about the bacon. That I was like, that doesn't make sense. Out of the frying pan, the bacon put up on the shelf. And I was like, what?
Wait, I did that in the opening line too.
Yeah, it's
The
crazy.
opening line about the bacon. I
Yeah.
forgot about it. The bacon's in this chapter.
Bacon's in this chapter.
You making bacon?
Hey, you making bacon, bud? At the very end.
No,
So
I didn't make it there.
anyway,
Didn't even know.
Thorin says he'll be eaten if we don't do something. So they got to get down there and get him, and that's the
But
plan.
he's going to be eating if he doesn't do something?
eaten. Not
Eaten.
he's not.
Okay, I was gonna
He
say.
is the bacon. Right? I'm just so we're clear on what's happening here. These wolves are hungry.
They hungry.
Yeah. So just at that moment, the wolves trotted howling into the clearing. All of a sudden, there were hundreds of eyes looking at them. Still, Dory did not let Bilbo down. He waited till he had clambered up off of his shoulders into the branches. I love that they say so. Dory actually climbs out of the tree. There's a good part right here. It says Dory was really a decent fellow in spite of all of his grumbling. So remember that there are people who grumble in life and people who get
They're
kind
nice
of
people.
whatever. But they're
Yeah.
good people. Despite all that, they're good people.
They're dealing with a lot. That's why they're grumbling.
Exactly. Well, yeah, he's been hounded
crap
for
from all his
Are you
brothers
kidding
and the
me, guys?
wizard and-
Freaking magic. There's darkness.
No one
and-
told me this was my job.
Yeah, right. He's a sneaky hobbit. Like, it's crazy.
It's got a magic ring. It's not my fault. I actually helped him, sort of.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he wouldn't have dropped him?
No. I will never imagine that ever. How dare you?
The whole story.
Would not.
Or if he would have dropped him in a different spot.
Could he just put his ring on? What if he put his ring on? What if he did?
I'm saying before he got the ring.
Oh.
In the Goblin Caves.
Oh,
When he
I
got
see.
dropped. Or fell. Or whatever happened.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I've never read these stories.
Yeah, me neither. Did you know that? So wargs,
Yeah.
right? So we finally
Where's it come from?
it's wolves at 1st. Well, it's interesting to me, and like in Game of Thrones and everything else, it's like considered a good thing. You can kind of like man and wolf. You're like warging into your wolf.
Yeah.
Your mind and spirit are one. They're connected. You can control the wolf. You go in and out, whatever. For this, even the wild wargs, and then it has parentheses. For so the evil wolves over the edge of the wild were named. Just to be clear.
Nice.
Just so as we refer to them as wargs moving forward, because they start to kind of like talk and stuff.
Do you think he almost kind of developed that in this chapter?
He probably just, I mean,
Because he was
maybe.
calling them wolves before. Maybe as they're coming into focus, like as they're getting closer to the company, it's like, okay, these aren't just wolves. They're actually wargs. Like from far off, you'd go, it could be either.
Right.
To get closer, and it's like, nah, these are wargs. Okay.
Yeah.
They're warging for the weekend.
They're warging for the weekend.
Everybody's warging for the weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, and the wargs are singing, no. We didn't start the fire. It was Gandalf and the dwarfs. Because they didn't start the fire. We didn't start the fire. Sorry. Oh, guys, sometimes we get a little loopy.
Dang, man.
But no, they speak in like and it's because like he's making that distinction because they speak in this language that only Gandalf can really understand. Bilbo did not. It sounded terrible to him, and it was cruel and wicked in some way. The other wargs are kind of circling and talking to this great gray chief, their leader, if you will. So, there was that. And basically Gandalf is kind of like, communicating to Bilbo, and this is bad. And it says multiple times that Gandalf felt like, even though he was a wizard, that he was fearful. Despite being a wizard, he was afraid.
Yeah, right.
I don't believe it. I don't buy
You
it.
think that's just Bilbo's perception
Maybe.
that the author is relaying?
Maybe. I'm going to get to a really kind of important part here in a second with Gandalf.
You think he was just kind of gassy? Oh, dude.
He might have been.
I gotta put Play-Doh away.
Yeah, you're fine. The so one of the things that the goblin as they're the wargs are kind of there. So let's talk about why they're there. The wargs are there because they are going to meet with the goblins, and the goblins, they're going to go on some great raid. Is basically the thing. And I if you guys have to go check out the video version of this episode, that's all I'm gonna say. Gotta go check it out. Crazy stuff's happening behind me. So yeah, they're gonna meet up with the goblins. They're gonna do some raiding, all this kind of stuff. It's not a good thing. And yeah, there's that. So, anyways, so let's see. Yeah, but what they didn't know and what the wargs did not understand is that the great goblin had actually been killed, and so that is part of the issue. So, all right, let's see. Anything else here? As Lane is putting away the Play-Doh, gonna put that away. Let's see. Wargs dare not even attack. I have no idea what is happening over there. You may keep going? Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. So basically, right here. The wargs dared not attack if there weren't many of them together. So they're not. It's almost like they need the goblins. Yeah. Well, actually, one of the reoccurring things is that like the orcs and and goblins, they scatter, right? If you kind of pick on their leader or whatever. So there's that.
The body will fall.
Right. So. Holy smokes. I really hope you guys go check out the video version of this pod. That's a first.
That's definitely a first.
That's a first.
There won't be a second.
I'll tell you right now, Oz has never been so thrown. And I think I was right. I was thrown right out of the frying pan.
Just helping you up the tree. Oh, out of the frying pan.
Yeah, the fire was going on behind me. I don't
ring of fryer.
What was going on? All right. So yeah, sorry for all of that. You can go check that out on the podcast.
This glade in the ring of trees. Ring of trees. There's one of your ring.
There's
references.
one of the ring. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Okay. Well, here's one of the lines I was talking about with Gandalf. So now you can understand. So he's listening to the wargs talk about their intentions and what they're going to do. He says you can understand why Gandalf, listening to their growling and their yelping, began to be dreadfully afraid, wizard though he was. He says wizard though he was 3 times. Pretty sure. At least twice. I'm pretty sure I heard it the third time. I thought, because the third time I heard it, I was like, Lane would be on that like
3 is
business.
We got to stop that.
Something's going on.
Got to stop that.
Yeah.
It is a nice balanced number though. It's like a number of completion too. 3 times.
Well, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's just a good number. It's a holy number. Yeah. So then we're gonna toss some pine cones. Fires, the secret fire.
I asked some if you want to light some.
We're going to actually
How
toss
hard
them
would
down.
a pine cone be to like light on fire? It'd probably be pretty difficult, wouldn't it? You'd have to have a secret fire.
Well, that's what he has, and like, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
That's what I was driving at.
Right? It's Gandalf. Isn't he the one? He's doing the whole thing in the film. It doesn't he like he light him and he tosses them down.
Yeah,
they all kind of catch it, and then they're like throwing it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Catching the pine needles on fire and all that good stuff. So. Yeah. So the wolves don't like this. Clearly, it's causing a commotion. There's flame. There's pine needles on the ground, which is what also helped them kind of move quietly through the forest and all that good stuff. But yeah, burning, all that stuff's going on. Now he kind of does this. Tolkien does this thing where he stops, and instead of bringing the goblins in right away, he just shifts almost like point of view. Let me flash you away over here to the side of the mountain. Yeah. Right. And
wives and children.
over here where people are listening or hearing. I'm sorry, gua hearing. Or you know what I'm saying? I'm not Lane. I'm Ez. And
I think you're better than me.
Come on now. But Gua
You're better at being me than I am.
Hey, Gua here is there and he's hearing. He's looking in all this stuff. He says, "What is this uproar?"
Oh my gosh, yes.
Right?
Okay,
What is
over
this,
there. Yes.
What is this uproar in the forest tonight? And we learn a little bit about like the Lord of Eagles. And we learn that that they're curious about this. Yeah. They don't really want to mess with it too much, but like when they see these raids, because the wargs are waiting for the goblins, they're going to go out, they're going to raid, they're going to do some stuff, they're going to do some bad stuff. And the eagles sometimes disrupt that. They're high up on the mountain doing their thing, but this is starting to like, we've got flames and smoke and howling wolves. It's causing quite a bit of stir.
They might need to perch on those trees someday, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Or those woods.
Exactly. This is their turf. Yeah. So, anyways, they're going to go down there and check into all of this. And so we get that bit, but then we also get, we flash back kind of to the goblins rushing up, and they're laughing, right? They came running up, yelling. They thought a battle with the woodmen was going on, but they soon learned what had really happened. Some of them actually sat down and laughed. Others waved their spears and clasped their shafts against their shields. Goblins are not afraid of fire, and they soon had a plan, which seemed to them most amusing. And so they start to kind of like put out some of the other fires, get a little closer, let the wolves draw in a little closer. They start to build that ring, right? And they're like, we're going to move that fire in.
Literally a fire ring.
Fire ring. We're going to move it in, move it on those trees, and it's going to go right up those trees. It's going to burn them out. They're going to jump out, and we're going to get them. That's exactly what those goblins are thinking.
Burned by their own fire.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, and this is where you get some of these weird kind of songs, and I don't really have a tune for any of these or whatever.
I don't either. I do love. I'm so lagging. I'm sorry. Like I got hit by a wall of tired.
I know you did. It's fine.
It's all in my face.
It's fine.
But there is a passage earlier that talks about like the different temperaments of eagles, which I thought was so interesting because we tend to think of Gwahir and his
true
eagles that are benevolent and sort of like disconnected from what's going on in Middle Earth, but also I don't know, these like ethereal beings, but that they're also like bad ones that are cowardly and cruel.
Yeah, right.
And their race is ancient. It's just very interesting.
Yeah.
But goblins are very afraid of them, which is good. It's
yeah.
gonna pay off.
Do you remember the big thing I was going to talk to you about in this chapter? And I said it was about the eagles.
Yes.
Right? So let's just do that while I'm thinking
it.
about it. Because really the songs, I mean, this is like they're singing these nasty songs. 15 birds and 5 fir trees, whatever. How are they doing?
Keep going. That was kind of parody.
No, that's all they do.
15 birds and 5 fir trees, their feathers were fanned in the fiery breeze. But funny little birds, they had no wings. What shall we do with the funny little things? Roast them alive or stew them in a pot. Fry them, boil them, eat them hot.
Perfect. That's what they sound like. Actually, the audiobook kind of sounds
Just like that?
Well,
Rob.
not the same kind of rhythm, but like close to like the tone or the voice. Yeah, the nasty goblins.
Better believe it.
Not good. Not good. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to get back to the Eagles real quick. So that's going on. They're singing these songs. Gandalf's telling them off, calling them nasty little, he's calling them
little boys.
Go away, little boys. They're calling them little birds too. So referencing that, okay, we're going to get some eagle intervention here.
Yep.
Eagle intervention.
Guys, I think it's time to sit down and talk about
I
this.
am so sick
Eagle
and tired.
intervention.
So I hear from people outside of people who are either
Why didn't they just fly into Mordor?
what did they just what
Why did the Eagles
they tell
just
you?
take the ring?
He told you in this book before it was all there.
I was even there.
Gandalf later on says, "Hey, look, we gotta get to the Lonely Mountain."
You want to drop us off?
Gandalf literally asked them to do that, like to take us a little further, and they said, "Look, hey, we owed you one.
Ain't our fight, dog.
We're out.
Ain't our fight.
We out here, but we ain't. We
ain't
out
out here.
We out
We
here.
there.
We ain't out over there. All right.
There's the Lonely
We are out here. You go out here. You go out here, me.
We ain't out Gwahir.
We ain't. Oh my gosh.
Go out here.
He literally
It's
says,
going too far.
Gwahir says, look, we owed you one.
Yeah.
All right, we got you.
Yeah.
All right, gray hat, we got you.
Yeah.
You're good. We're square.
Yeah.
He's
Now, if
kind
you
of
ever find yourself on the pinnacle of a dark tower and you need a little help,
right, then
maybe
you
then-
owe us one. At that
Right.
point, we're gonna go one up on you.
Right.
But right now, we're squaring this.
Black Gate, we might intervene because we have to.
Maybe
other
because
than that,
all
we're done
of
with
all Middle Earth depends on it. Maybe. That's a
Like,
big maybe.
what
like
did
once
Gandalf do
you've
for
done
those-
what you're supposed to do, then we're showing up.
What did Gandalf do for those eagles to get those big calls?
Who knows? That's a pretty big because they're kind of
He
like
found
look,
them egg mates
all right,
or
look,
something.
it literally takes us nothing to just get you guys, take you over here to this place, do I mean,
So it's
by
a
the way,
walk
they're
in the park.
massive eagles.
I know.
Massive eagles. Anyways, so I thought to myself, what they actually say is they even talk about men shooting them with bows and getting into getting in near kind of where villages are and men and people. They don't want to be anywhere near that. That doesn't. It makes sense for eagles too. Why would you want to be?
Yeah, no.
Why would you want to be so when they're able to, they do intervene with the wolves because wolves aren't shooting bow and arrows. Yeah. Now goblins, they do interfere with as well, but normally it's in correlation with the wolves.
Yeah.
And they're raiding on the woodmen and stuff like that, or even just like
Who are shooting them?
when they when they see them
interesting,
intervention.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe it's not the woodmen.
think
It could be like
I
the
think it's
men
more-
of Lake Town.
Yeah, I think
Bard the Bowman is hunting bird.
And who knows? Maybe there were some more, different groups who were
He's probably gonna
causing Gwahir issues and stuff.
I'm
but
sure that that is elaborated on in some ancient story, don't you think? That we
it
haven't
might
read
be. It might be. Yeah.
Lost Tales of Great Yesterdore.
Yeah.
All those.
So, because that was my biggest kind of takeaway is that like at the end I was stunned. I was like, no, wait a second. I was like, people have been saying for years, why didn't they just fly him there? I just don't get it. And it's like the Lord of Eagles. Okay, the Lord of Eagles. Eager Eagles.
We are a mess.
No,
well, I am. You're not.
No, it's late. It's actually late for us, which is wild. We've been up later.
So tired.
Yeah.
I'm
The Lord of
thankful for
Eagles would not take them anywhere near where men lived. That's what he says in The Hobbit. Okay. Quote, they would shoot at us with their great bows, he said, for they would think we were after their sheep. And at other times, they would be right. No, we're glad to cheat the goblins of their sport and glad to repay our thanks to you, but we will not risk ourselves for dwarves in the southward plains. Flat out says, hey, I'm out. So it's not all these people saying like, just take the Eagles. Look, the Eagles aren't like Elrond can't say, hey, look, I need you guys to look. No, I'm making you guys.
Could you get on a real eagle and say, take me here? No. Could you get on a horse and say, take me to Dayton?
No.
You'd have to drive the horse. And at that point, you'd have to be stronger than the horse or conquering the horse. You can't conquer these eagles. And let me ask you something. Is there kinship? Are we almost done with this chapter?
We're done. This is it.
I got to say, this is not one of my favorite chapters. Is this bad?
That's fine. Go ahead and say it.
Not one of my favorites.
Because I think your summary straight up covered it, which was
it's like
that
he takes a long time.
I know.
To say something that.
I know.
This is your favorite chapter. I'm sorry.
It's an action sequence, and I think that's what people like about it. Is there's a lot of action, fighting.
See, and
fire,
I don't really even
goblin
care about the action.
I thought there was more action going on back in the mountains. I mean, I guess it's kind of back to back. Maybe it's slowed down because of the riddles, right? And even though
I love that last chapter was awesome.
Right. Right.
Do you think there's a kinship between these eagles and Gandalf because he's a storm crow?
Wow.
Birds of a feather. Sticking it together.
Maybe.
Brother.
Maybe.
To brother.
I honestly don't know.
Shoulder to shoulder. We'll fly ya no more.
I have no idea, but I'm down. I mean, why not? Why not?
You're down. You're down for that to be true.
I'm down for that to be true, for sure. So,
well, yeah.
But that's it, friends.
That's all there
Gwahir is out here. Okay.
But not out there.
But he's not out there. And he's not going over there.
There is a lot of
y'all here.
There's a lot of cool Rohirrim. There's you hear him? Rohirrim? There's a lot of really cool art. Not in the doc for this chapter. Whew. If you go check out
I don't know. So I'm gonna put this one nugget
out
there for our listeners. I don't know what you typed into Google search to get these images
Honestly,
to come up, but I don't want to know.
It was these other images.
I don't want to know.
I do love, of course, Tolkien's own illustration there. He has such a unique illustration style. It's so cool. But there is, I tell you what, man, with the rise of digital art, like some of these are really old. Like that black and white one is from like the Soviet Union or something like that. And then there's, of course, Alan Lee, who's got all those eyes of the wargs down below. But there's so much Middle Earth art out there because of the rise of like digital art, I think.
Yeah.
It's so easy to put, people who've always wanted to make art about Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit can now, and they can put it out on the internet and it's out there. So it's really cool. No matter what, no matter what angle you're taking.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's really cool. It is actually really neat.
Yeah. We've got a great Bywater Post. Thank you for walking me through that.
You're welcome.
Chapter. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You very much felt like my Gwahir.
I literally lost my way there for a while, and
hey man, much like the dwarves.
There's Play-Doh on my face. You guys can go watch this video. I don't know. Straight up. All right.
We have an awesome Tolkien story, the Bywater Post. Do you want to read this one? You want me to?
It doesn't matter. Either one. I'll read it. You want to read it?
You just did a lot of work. I'll read it. You had to carry me through that whole chapter. Hey, as in Lane, my name is Usama. And not too long ago, I came across your podcast and decided it was the perfect opportunity for another reread of The Lord of the Rings. I started from the beginning and joined the two of you on this journey through Middle-earth. I just reached the halfway point in The Lord of the Rings, currently listening to the episode on the Palantir, the last chapter in Book 3. So I figured it was about time I sent in my Tolkien story. I am a 22-year-old Pakistani American man writing to you from Sammamish, Washington, a little town that reminds me of Breeland. The woods here are almost exactly how I imagine the woods in that region of Middle-earth would look. My Tolkien story, however, begins when I was around 4 years old. The first two films had come out, and my parents and older brother loved them. They would watch the films quite often at home. I enjoyed them too, but I was too young to really understand what was going on, especially when you consider that English is not my first language. When I was 5 years old, The Return of the King came out, and my parents and brother, who was 8, went to see the film multiple times. I had wanted to go too, but my parents felt that I was too young and this film would not be appropriate for me as it was darker and more violent than the previous two. As an adult, I definitely understand why. It wasn't until a few years later that I would visit Middle-earth again. At around 8 years old, I got to watch all 3 of the films. Having matured by many years, I was able to understand the films, and I fell deeply in love with them. The Lord of the Rings was genuinely my first love. I immediately connected with Aragorn, though as I've grown older, I realize I am more of a Faramir. Wow, not a bad adjustment, man. Soon after seeing the films, I got my hands on the books and I got to reading. Being so young, it was a struggle. The language was difficult for me, and I ended up missing a lot of details, but I pushed through. I remember my teachers being very impressed with me, both due to my age and considering, as I mentioned earlier, that English is not my first language. I have always had a gift and a love for learning language, much like Tolkien himself. Currently, I speak 5 languages: English, French, Urdu, Punjabi, and Arabic, and I am in the process of learning my 6th language, Korean. That is unreal, dude. He and Jim could have some conversations.
Yeah, no kidding.
Jim loves languages, our buddy Jim. For no reason other than that I find Korean to be a very beautiful language. I mention this because I would like to think me and Tolkien would be good friends due to our love of language. Absolutely, Usama. As I have grown up, Middle-earth has remained very near to my heart. I still play, as I have for nearly a decade, The Lord of the Rings, massive multiplayer online, and I reread the books every now and then. When I open The Hobbit and read that first line, "In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit," it feels like coming home. Something I have been asked very often by my peers is how I am able to connect with this story so much as a person of color when every character is white. I've been asked this often enough that I have come up with this answer. The Lord of the Rings is a story about hope, about good overcoming evil, about freedom against oppression. It is a story about love, fellowship, kindness, and compassion. This story transcends race, culture, faith, and ethnicity. At the core, I think this is a story about humanity, one that we can all connect to and we can all learn from. The characters can look however you want them to look. Wow. It's not the color of their skin that's made so many people fall in love with them. Jeez, dude. It's the content of their hearts. With that being said, I would love to see some diversity in the upcoming Amazon series, so long as it makes sense and is done well. Much love to both of you. You two are amazing and have created an incredible community of people, which I am proud to be a part of. I wish you all the best, and I can't wait to continue this journey with you. Sincerely, Usama Arshad. So he also has a postscript here. I know it was a long time ago that you two discussed this, but I wanted to share what my fellowship would look like. I would have Frodo as my ring bearer. I totally forgot we did this. We did like a draft, didn't we?
This is awesome.
Yeah,
this is cool.
Frodo as my ring bearer, and of course Sam would come with him. Then I would then have Gandalf, because who could be a better guide? I would have both Aragorn and Arwen.
Let's go.
I think the future Queen of Gondor should have a bigger role to play in challenging Sauron. Also, the daughter of Elrond.
Yeah.
I would also like to see the Gondorians come to love her and accept her as their queen. Who knows? Maybe they'd even end up loving her more than they love Aragorn.
How could they not?
How could they not? I would then take the one and the only Glorfindel. Then I would want Legolas and Gimli, and last but not least, one of the twin sons of Elrond, Eladin or Elrohir.
Wow.
That's
well. First of all,
that's a fellowship I can't argue with.
100%. You've got Gandalf and Glorfindel.
Glorfindel. Back from the dead.
Glorfindel.
Usama, that's beautiful.
So cool.
He's also
we did that.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty
Wow.
cool. What an amazing story. What an amazing. I mean, that paragraph about what Lord of the Rings is and how.
I'm so glad he wrote that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter.
So glad.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it of course it matters, the color of your skin, and of course it matters where you're from, and of course it matters your heritage, and like the people who came before you, and how
seeing those people in stories.
Yeah,
all
see
that
them
stuff.
represented,
Yeah.
and then like also how each group of people brings such beauty to the world, and it's all our differences too that also add this spectrum of light to the world, right? But how it's more than that. What he's saying, it transcends. It goes beyond all those things because it's about these bigger things that bind all of us.
Yep.
That it doesn't matter what you look like or where you're from or
Yeah.
who you pray to. Like
Yeah.
these things are human. They're human elements.
Here's something interesting. It's kind of bizarre, but one of the reasons I've always liked Star Wars is because a lot of them aren't human.
Yeah.
But yet they're all aliens. There's this weird kind of thing, right? They don't look like me, not at all.
Yeah.
But yet they're fighting for the right thing.
Yeah.
They have compassion for one another.
Yeah.
Friendship. That's the kind of stuff.
Hobbits are rabbits for crying out loud.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's but for
yes,
real,
they,
it's
for
like
real. Yeah. But you have sort of somewhat of like you're like, oh, I feel that way.
Yeah.
About my friend, and I would fight. Let's go. I would fight.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You want to have Adam? Have it me too.
Yep.
Kind of like Sam. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, those things on the inside that we all
Exactly.
can relate to, and
Yeah.
I just think that paragraph, it's
Yeah,
beautiful
Osama,
how
very-
he's crafted
very well
that. That
said.
is 100%. I mean, I couldn't think it any better. I couldn't write it any better. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It does seem like the Amazon series has I'd say has more diversity than we've even seen in the films before, and so that is very exciting to see how they craft that into the story. So Usama also he sent us a clip of him playing Far Over the Misty Mountains. So maybe we could throw that in the end of the episode.
Okay.
Which would be awesome. And then also he recently sent us a little poem, and I just wanted to share this. He knows why. We're with you, bro, and we're thinking about you, and we wanted to put this in right away because hopefully, knowing that your beautiful story, is being shared with other people, and that I'm inspired. Usama, I am inspired by reading your words, man, and that other people will be too. That will that'll hopefully be a light for you. So he wrote this poem, and I hope it's okay that I'm sharing this. I believe it is. He sent it to us, and so I want to honor his writing as well. Beautiful writer. Come back from the shadow, come back to the light. I wandered and got lost. Now back to the path I fight. There's no beauty in the suffering, no healing in the pain. The road goes on, and on it goes, and love is there to gain. Today, though I fight alone in the darkness of the night, and none may know my burden, I can come back. I will come back and find that I'm not broken. Powerful words.
Yeah.
Powerful words. Incredible. So
hold on. I mean,
I know.
Okay, so one thing
is this
at the
Tolkien
top,
writing this
is
to
good.
us?
Well, at the top of the show, you kind of talked about some of these things. All these things that bind us together, bonds that whether the friendship or fellowship or family, love, whatever it is, but man, I'm telling you right now, like we all still have our own life to live and our journey, and we're in this, and like we're making those connections and stuff. Holy smokes! Sometimes people do not know. We don't know the burden that other people are bearing and what they're going through. So, anyways, that's hitting real close to some stuff we've been talking about, which is awesome. This is good. Yeah. So.
Thank you, Osama. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Yeah. If you can move on from something that wonderful, I think we will. Now, so I have to make a confession, dude. I just burped into the mic again. It must be the night for it.
It's the sardines.
I copied and pasted these and saw the answers. Now, I
haven't seen the answers, so good. Let's not struggle for 20 minutes on them.
And I don't remember exactly what they are, but I could probably guess.
Todd Robbins?
These are from, old Toddy Robbins.
Todd doggone it.
The man who knows how to backlight a poster if ever I've seen.
He's impressive.
I don't know if I've told Todd this, but he reminds me a lot of Billy Boyd. I don't know why.
Really? Yeah.
He's got like a Billy Boyd / okay, here.
Wow.
Maybe he's the product of that kiss. Because he kind of reminds me of a Viggo Boyd or a Billy Mortensen. I think he's Billy Mortensen.
He's Billy Mortensen.
Like, seriously, if Viggo Mortensen and Billy Boyd had a love child.
Cannot. That's hilarious. Yeah.
Todd Robbins would be.
I think Todd would be down.
Todd's
I think he'd
probably
be like,
dying laughing right now for once.
Great.
And also he's thinking, yeah, I'll take that.
He wakes up in the morning, he looks in the mirror and says,
because he's got,
now I see it.
He's got a quiet stoicism that reminds me of Viggo.
Yeah.
But then there's this like tookish
he's got that
in his eyes.
He's got a grin too sometimes.
And we'll make stupid jokes and he laughs. And I'm like, Todd's a took.
He's a took, yeah.
But he's a Telcontar as well. So here's number one. He said he found these kind of interesting and wanted, wanted to see what we thought. Number one, I have seas without border. I have seas without water. I have forests without food. Fudge. What is going on?
Did you want me to read it? I have seas without water. I have forests without wood. I have deserts without sand. I have houses with no brick. What am I?
What am I? You. What am you?
What am I? Well, I'm just a hobbit.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Seas without water, forests without wood, deserts without sand.
Well, forest without wood would just be nothing. It wouldn't
Leaves.
be. It wouldn't be there. A sea without water would be barren. I'm thinking barren. Nothing there. It'd be empty. A house with no brick would be no house. It could
be a wood house.
Houseless thing. It'd be. Wait. I have a house with no brick. Well, you could have, it could be something else.
Straw house.
I have a sea without water. A sea without water. Lack of water would be a valley. You'd be like, it would be a canyon, right? It would be a
forest without food.
I have no idea. Can I highlight it? Can I see?
Yeah.
Can I check? Lane, there's no answer.
Huh. Seriously.
What in the world?
Yeah, I deleted it because I figured we would just look on the Gmail. Oh my Lord! All right, give me a second.
Well, hey friends,
what a horse and pony act.
Take a second, get your pencil and paper out, and I want you guys to go ahead.
Your guess.
Give us your top 5. Write down your top 5.
Your answer is.
I have a house with no brick.
I got to copy and paste.
Todd, these better be. Well, you can just tell it to me.
No, I can't see it until I paste it. There it is.
Oh, a map. Holy smokes.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
A sea without water, a forest without wood.
Because they're all drawn.
I get it.
Pretty good, right?
That's pretty good. Okay, I'll take that. Yeah.
Next one. I'm going to try and read this one.
You read this one?
Nah, okay. I'm going to put my beer goggles on.
You want sardines to read it?
Never was. I am always to be. No one ever saw me, nor ever will. And yet I give confidence to all who live and breathe on this terrestrial ball. What am I?
Never was. I am always to be. No one ever saw me, nor ever. What's the wind, right? and yet I give confidence to all. Giving confidence to you.
I think it's the future,
Who live
but I can't remember exactly.
and breathe on this terrestrial. Oh, what am I? Life never was, always.
The future.
The future never was. Okay, the future.
Past. I think it is the future.
No one ever saw me, nor will ever will.
I can't remember if this is what it was.
Who live, breathe on this terrestrial. Oh, what? The future. It's the future. What's it say? What's it say?
See, now it's going to seem like I remembered. I really don't remember, but I think now.
Never was. I am always to be. Yeah, it's the future.
Gotta be.
No one ever saw me, nor ever will.
Can't see the future.
Now hold on a second.
Call Miss Cleo for your free tarot reading. All right.
Can I tell you?
The future.
Is it the future? Yeah, yes, the future. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
Why? Since you brought that up,
Miss Cleo.
I've had a reading before.
Tarot reading?
Did I ever tell you that?
Explains so much.
No, have I ever told you that story?
From like what? Like who?
From someone who could read cards. It was winter. It was winter.
I like how that leads the story
I
off.
can't make this
story.
story.
It was winter time. It was
listen to
cold.
me.
Very cold. Very cold.
Very freezing cold. I mean, we're talking sub-freezing cold. So I can't make this story up. Ready for this?
Ready for it.
I was pulling out of the China buffet.
Get out of here.
Imagine that.
I'm kind of surprised that you weren't pulling into the China buffet and had a tarot reading.
I'd already been there, buddy.
Man, doesn't that sound good right now?
Oh,
if there were no rules and
if it were keto, I'd be there every day.
Count,
be there every day.
Dude, you know my favorite thing that I can't find anywhere else is that sweet coconut shrimp.
Oh, it's so good.
Nowhere else.
Nowhere. And no one does it as well. Not even close.
Where like
even if they did, I don't even know that I could find it.
I'd give up my Thanksgiving dinner to have some of that right now.
It's so good. It's literally so good.
Moisty Mountains.
And I became great friends with those people in there. It's great.
You didn't know them.
They actually used to say, "We'll see you tomorrow."
No, this is not. Are you being serious?
They do that as a tactic. I'm being 100.
Oh, they say it to everybody.
They say it to everybody. But at first I thought it was just me. And then I sat a little closer to the register and I was like, he better say I'll see you tomorrow. He better say I'll see you tomorrow.
No, you're like,
or am I the only guy who shows up here every single day? Because I don't see any of these people in here on the regular. You know what I mean?
I'll never forget the time we got dirty looks for being in there too long. We had 3 meals there.
That was crazy.
There's no rule about leaving.
No, but they let us know.
It's an unwritten rule.
And also we were young, and they didn't think we were going to tip very much. We did tip pretty well. We were good tippers. I've always been a good tipper.
I don't think I tipped them at all.
Wow.
I don't think I paid for my meal.
What?
Yeah, I think
Who paid? Did I pay for? Somebody paid for
I
it?
just left. How are they going to know?
No. He's
They're
joking.
Gonna stop me? They're going to stop me?
He's joking.
I do that at all restaurants.
Real quick, I want to tell the story just very, very fast. It was snowing. I was pulling out of there. I remember I pulled up and there was I was making a right. It was a red light. I was turning. I was looking, and as I'm looking to my left to clear traffic and turn
Is this
right.
pertinent information?
Yes, it is. Yeah, you'll understand why. So I'm looking left, right, and I hear
Looking
this.
left, right.
I hear at my window.
What the? No. Dude, you just talked about how you embellish
No,
stories.
I'm not making it up. You ask, is it pertinent information? I'm not making that up. Some woman is like, boom, 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 on, and I'm like,
boom, 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 boom.
yeah,
boom.
like knocking on my window, and she's like, she does this, like, roll your window down, roll your window down.
Can I read your cards? That's what she said.
What? And so she's like, hey, and then I looked at her, I was like, she doesn't have a coat on.
Wow.
She doesn't have a coat.
Needs some money.
And she was like, hey, I am so sorry. She was like, would there be any chance that I could get a ride home? I live in this town. It's in Mount Vernon. And I was 19 or 20 at the time. And I was like, absolutely. Absolutely. And I didn't think anything of it. And she was probably a couple years, maybe she was 6 or 7 years older than me. She was like in her
How'd you
late
know?
20s.
Did you ask her?
Just eyeballed it.
Just eyeballed it.
I mean, I don't know. She seemed older. I don't know.
That was such a specific number for an eyeball. 6 or 7
6 or
years.
7. I don't know. I'm totally
Definitely not
just
9
like,
or 10 or
you
8.
know, But yeah, you know, the younger that the individual is, like, it's so much harder to gauge. Like, my students have no idea. They don't know if I'm 50.
Oh yeah,
like,
they think
think I'm. Some of them think I'm
some
like
I've asked
20,
stuff-
24, 25. I'm like, what?
or like
some of them
45.
think I'm like 45.
They,
50.
my kids
I'm
think
like,
that I'm
what?
their parents' age.
It's so crazy to me. I love it.
Think about
So
it.
anyways,
Little kids think everyone is their parents' age.
Exactly, they do. Yeah, and I was probably way off, anyways. But so the whole point is, she hops in the car. This is the second time, and my friends were always like, why do you do this? I'm like,
Wait, you
I don't
gave
know.
this lady a ride twice?
No. This is the second time I picked up just somebody. The first time was the whole another story where I gave another person a ride home. But I gave her a ride home. It was broad daylight. You know, I just got done eating lunch at China Buffet, so it was freaky. It was cold. It was freezing out. And
She should have been scared of
yeah.
you.
No,
honestly.
she pops in the car and she's like, "Thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate this." She's like, she's like, she literally
Can't
called.
pay you, but I can read
She
your
called
cards.
herself one of the traveling. She said, "I'm a traveler. I'm you know." She
One of the traveling?
She called herself the traveling people, of the traveling
She's
people.
a gypsy.
She's a gypsy. And I was
No,
like,
for real? For real? That's what she
100%.
said?
Her words. And I was like, and she's like, I'm just kind of passing through. It's a really nice town. I'm staying over at this place. Do you know where that road is? It's over there. And she's like, if we drive in that direction, I can point you to I promise. I know this is crazy, but I'm just like, I got caught out in this storm. It was a storm. This storm hit, and it was like, I pulled into China Buffet. Now, again, granted, I'm there for hours, but but I mean, this wasn't.
See you tomorrow.
You going to be here all day. So I pull out, anyways, and we're heading that way. She stopped my payment. I'm like, don't worry about it. We get across town or whatever. And in her lap, she pulls out of her bag. And I'm sitting here driving, like, what is she pulling out of her bag?
Like a
she pulls out a deck of cards.
Okay, good. Thank God.
Tarot cards. Pulls them all out. And she's like, can I at least do a reading for you? You're such a, she said I was sweet, very nice and kind for whatever.
Hitting on you, bro.
And I was like, yeah, sure. Well, I at the time, I'm a youngster. I had no idea what was going on. I was like, she was freezing.
I don't understand how the cards work.
I
Is it
don't
specific
know
to you
myself.
Or just the actual passing of the cards?
I do not know myself. But here's what's kind of cool about the story.
I know you.
She did a reading. Every single thing that she said
Was accurate?
at the time, and it has continued to be accurate.
She cursed you?
I kid you not.
Okay.
I still have the card to this day. This is how much it kind of like, I was like, what? She thanked me. She did the reading. She told me what she told me, and that's between me and the cards. Okay. What she told me.
She was there, so.
Well, she was between me, her, and the cards. And as she's like, I don't have any money. I can't pay. I was like, I don't know any money. It's like a 2-minute trip, whatever.
Yeah.
And,
Should have been like, hey, cover my next meal. I'm going there tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you at China Buffet. But no, so
Here every day.
yes. Actually, when she got out of the car, she said, "I'll see you tomorrow." So, but anyways. All right, so
I thought it was just the common way to say goodbye in Mount Vernon.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
So she's getting out of her car though, and she's like, so she did the reading, and then she was just like, that's odd. She's like, and she like looked at me or whatever, and she was like, she just thought, she had this like really weird look, and she like looked at me for a long time, and then she just like,
You're one of the
thank you very
travelers,
much,
too.
I appreciate it. But then she just kind of kept staring at me, and she like nodded her head in this, really long, awkward pause. And I was like, okay. And she was like, yeah, I think that's right. And then she got out of the car. She got out of the car, and she turned around.
Wait, did she read your cards?
She already read my cards. She did the whole thing. She did it on her lap in the thing out of her purse. She pulled them out, did the cards. But then it was after that, she gave that long, awkward pause, and she gets out of the car. She turned around, and I thought she had everything. She took everything out, right? And she turned around, and she said, that's for you. Keep it. And she walked inside, and I looked down in the seat where she was at, and she had left one of her tarot cards.
Which one was it?
It was the Knight of Wands. And I've asked different readers, and I've gotten some really interesting stuff on it. The Knight of Wands, it was the card that she said, the way she's like, I have everything I need. And like, she was very like deliberate about like, I'm leaving this card for some special reason. I'm going to leave it. And it's still on my shelf to this day.
Knight in shining armor.
So, anyways, it was
That's wild, dude.
Knight of Wands, and
Power, passion, and frustration.
there's lots of
Well,
different.
that's totally you.
And
Your
you look
element
up,
is fire. Your
Depending
zodiac
on-
sign. Are you an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius?
No, Sagittarius. Yeah, no. What am I? What's the one in December? The one that's a Capricorn, right? Am I Capricorn? Dude, I don't know this kind of stuff. No idea.
Your healing crystal is a chameleon.
I'm about to put my birthday out here. December 22nd. Zodiac.
Very interesting.
Capricorn. But the point is that I go to different sites and it means different things, you know. And so I recently found some people who gave me some like detailed information. I told them the story, and they're card readers, and they told me some really cool stuff. Of course, you would find some clip art. That's ridiculous. All right, this episode has gone on far too long.
That's a fantastic story. I don't know if I believe any of it, especially now. But
yeah,
wow.
Yeah, you'll believe it tomorrow.
Our wonderful Knight of Wands. I'll see you tomorrow. You want to tell our friends how they can share the load?
Yeah, and so because we do this in kind of a fortnight situation, our
Sort of a fortnight situation we got going on here.
We recorded this way early, and we didn't actually get a chance to the Zoom. We're doing a Zoom hangout with our patrons over on, I think it's the 20. It'll be the 28th. So when you guys hear this, it'll be after that. But that is something that we do over there, and hopefully we have some fun stuff to kind of report out there. I'm thinking about doing a recording of some of doing some recording of our friends there and talk about a few things, maybe show related or just for fun.
Ooh.
You know, stuff like that. So holiday weekend, so it is what it is. Follow us at Uptalkin' Tolkien on social media. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Just posted a really good gem on Instagram. If you haven't had a chance to go listen to this, it's called the Lord
of the Strings.
Lords of the Song. Lords of the Song.
Like that.
It's something we've been working on. Bilbo, do you know? Saruman or Sour Man.
Or a sour man.
You actually said sour man at one point.
It
It was a
sour.
whole transition. It was crazy. So go check that out. It's a nice little gem on Instagram, and I would appreciate it, people, if you hear this episode and you find what I'm talking about, just say found it in the comments there. Let me know you found it, because I loved making that, and I had so much fun.
It was awesome. Yeah.
We're totally out of key and stuff, but it was hilarious, and I had a
And
great
Dave
time
was
doing
killing
it.
on the guitar.
Dave was killing it.
Shredding.
We were over here just being a bunch of
Shredding
idiots.
metal.
Yeah. So, all right.
Also very exciting. There's a sample of it just sitting right over there off camera. But the legendary second signature tee.
That's
is
right.
done.
I just saw it.
It's in Amanda. What are your impressions of it?
I think folks are going to love it.
I love it.
And I think did I show you all the stuff that's the package? Did I show you all
No,
the
I can't
stuff?
wait to see that.
I got that.
So
that's in here. It's in the house.
patrons who qualify for those the goodie packages are going to be very, very happy.
I think they'll be happy. Also, I would say too, I don't know if we're ready to reveal this. We may have a really cool partnership and some cool things happening in the future. So that's fun.
Yeah, we can't really talk about it yet.
That's fine. But I'm just saying.
I think you've said too much.
That's all I wanted to say. Didn't know.
I just said you said too much.
I said it too much.
I'm just joking. I'm totally joking.
All right. We'll see
You
you
didn't
guys.
say enough, baby.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Seriously, I was going to say that instead of Bilbo knows.
Oh, doggone it. Well, don't worry. There's still quite a bit to go in the show. We have about another hour. We'd like to
gotta
cover.
hit 4, right? Got to hit hour 4. But anyway, they're really, really nice. They're very well made. And I will just say that I think it pairs so nicely with Signature T1. Like, I think you put them both side by side and go, this is part of a trilogy. And I think we figured out who the third Signature T is going to be.
Yeah.
And it rhymes with B.
Uh-huh.
With a goldberry.
Right.
We're going to figure it out.
Oh, it's sick.
Maybe just her silhouette.
Ooh, I have
You have an idea?
Yeah, it's sick. It's sick. It's gonna be great.
Oh, you're the design guy all of a sudden, are you?
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah, it just came to me.
Oh, you can do clip art for YouTube. Now you think you can design t-shirts.
No, I can do it. By the way, I'm gonna talk to you about that. Go check out the clip art on our YouTube. Let me know what you think about it, guys.
Gaz is killing it. He's
trying to
slinging
do some
and
fun stuff over
slinging
there.
and
Go
yinging.
subscribe to the YouTube. Appreciate it.
It's time. It is time. Believe it or not. I know it seems like a short episode.
Seems like it was just yesterday.
Doggone it. It
when
was.
we started.
It literally was. Did you realize you did that?
Yeah.
Man, you're getting quick, bro.
Hey,
Easy. Easy.
All right.
Okay. Well, don't be a short. We need short poppies, not tall. Fortnite farewells. We want to thank you for going through the fire with us. Going through the fire, hey, yeah, yeah. Albeit a little singed or singed, yet alive still.
If yeah, this is a big if.
If you look our podcast,
If you look our podcast, didn't forget to subscribe.
Luke is right.
That's rate. That's right. That's rate. Rate a review, leave a comment, or send us a Shadowfax.
I got nothing. We'll see you in a fortnight, and remember, we'll see you tomorrow.